Oh, hello. Does anybody hear me? Because I'm trying to figure out if this thing actually works right now. If not, let me know. We are live. Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. So, just in case to let everybody know, things are going to be handled a little bit differently for the first hour because it turns out everybody is here in this room right now, even the dogs. So, I'm going to see how I can handle all this at this moment. Oh, speaking of which, hey there, TSS.
How you doing?
All fine. How about you, buddy?
Doing okay. Got a lot of things to talk about.
Indeed. I'm still trying to figure out exactly the difference between those two images you showed me on the Discord server.
Okay, so this brings into the first topic of the night. So, um, Osamatsu-san DVD Blu-ray by Viz. I have it. I was able to analyze it, and I have a little thing to talk about it. So, I have the direct comparisons between because I have the Avex Volume 1 and then of course the Viz discs. The biggest difference that I found here, because I compared episode 2, for example, because episode 1 will never be released ever again because the amount of parodies in that, because Jushimatsu look like fucking DP Satoshi, but that's another fucking point. Um, so the Avex Blu-ray uses a fixed bit rate on their episodes, 31.2 megabits on the video, but it has PCM audio. The Viz version uses variable bitrate video, but it uses DTS lossless audio for both the English and the Japanese tracks. The biggest difference that I find between the video quality is the Avex one is a little bit sharper, and also the color gradient is a little bit different between the two. But as far as a value proposition goes, the Viz set is definitely worth the money. Considering that you get all 25 episodes for $40.
I'm gonna go and show
Uh,
it right now in the slide, so give me a second.
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, everyone!"
Hello. Okay, so the one on the left, I believe, is the Avex one, whereas the one on the
Yes.
right that you posted is the Viz. And
Yeah,
it's like one of those memes where it's like I give this person the two pictures and they're the exact same things. But I could see now side by side there is a bit of color change between the two.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I could definitely tell though. It's just looking at it. It seems to me the Viz one's like it seems kind of brighter to me.
Yes.
I, I was like that was like the one thing that jumped out at me pretty quickly when comparing the two.
But yeah, Tisa, so overall, like, what did you think of the entire package deal?
First of all, I'm never usually a dub person. You know that. But I will say I looked at a few specific scenes in the dub because I just wanted to see how they handle it. So after skimming through the discs, um, it's a faithful translation with with rewritten comedy, and I think it works. The whole I did like in episode 13 with the whole Fapimatsu thing. They actually made some really funny references in it. It's just as funny as in the original. Also the Jushimatsu Festival episode, which is I think episode number 18. There was a reference. There was a. Of course, Karamatsu doesn't have the Englishisms because it doesn't come across as cool. But the references that were stated in the dub version, it's still worth a listen because. First of all, obviously they didn't tone down it at all. I mean, it's an adult series. I mean, literally in the back it says TVMA. So
There's
they
something hilarious about Osamatsu-san being that, though.
Well, yeah, but you think about it, there's the amount of freaking nudity that there is in there, sexual innuendos, in the dub they just drop the F bomb like no tomorrow. Well, and for the most part, and then sometimes they have little creative things. taking a shit and things, and they kind of spin the wheel a little bit in terms of metaphors for that kind of thing, which I appreciate. But yes, worth your time, worth your money, definitely. Definitely would recommend it. Also, another thing I want to mention about this as well is that all of the shorts are included. But the Shiritori short is actually hard subbed. I think it's because the fact that, most people in the Western audience doesn't know what Shiritori is. Of course, if you watch Pokemon, you know what the fuck Shiritori is. But, people that don't watch it, that's what it is. So, but aside from that, it's complete. The menus are fine, but I didn't like the instrumental loop of the first opening that he used. It kind of like haphazardly edited. But aside from that, it's a really good quality, really good value. Definitely worth your time to watch it. And yeah, go out and get it today. Get it yesterday because
Get it yesterday. Get it yesterday.
Get it yesterday. What are you doing right
now?
now?
Oh man, I'm quoting that for real.
Well, and also, it's a better value proposition than the Avex one, because the Avex one you had to buy 8 discs.
Ugh. Japan, why you do this to me?
Fuck.
Yeah, because basically all 25 episodes, 24, because it's weird is that you don't technically get like the original airings of, I think, episode 3, because episode 3 had like references to Anpanmon where they completely they call it like Decaponmon, but they completely removed all those segments. That's why an episode is like freaking like 2 minutes shorter than everything else, because they took all the segments out. There's on the Blu-ray set, there's episode 2, 3, 3.5, which was created in lieu of episode 1 because they had to get the F6. They have to do the introduction to F6, right? The Ikemen Osamatsus, right? And then they have everything from 4 to 25.
Ikemen.
Yes. So yeah, but definitely the Viz one is worth it. The dub cast is really fun. The voices do suit them very well. Like I said, this is coming from a guy who hates fucking dubs, so go and fucking get it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Viz does a dub where Viz also does the releases of another dub that doesn't, it's shittier and doesn't give us the fans what they want. So figure that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Next.
All right, so
damn.
First of all, before we get any further, once again, everybody, welcome to the PokePod World Podcast tonight, ladies and gents. It's going to be a fun one for tonight. We have a lot to get into, especially for gaming news, because a lot of the information that's been dropping literally came in the span of 24 hours. Like, for real, this day was filled with a lot of things to talk about, from indie games to mainstream games, and even certain surprises like Pikmin having a game coming out as well. So we have a lot to get into within tonight's session, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But before we get any further, though, it's always important for us to go and say hello to everybody here in the call. As you already heard beforehand, that was TSS, and here we got Tyrone as well as Nessa joining in on the fun for tonight. So,
yeah.
With that being said, Drew's basket dropped early. We'll talk about that maybe a little later. But let's start talking about the gaming news, why don't we? Because, whoo boy, games. Everybody loves them, do they not? So let's begin with the big announcement that came out not too long ago, like literally just a few minutes ago. Fall Guys has their newest season drop. And it turns out that Kisuna Ai costume is going to become available starting March 27th to March 29th. I shit you not with what I'm witnessing right here, but this is a legit thing, and I'm surprised that they somehow managed to get this to become a thing.
What the fuck is that?
Kisuna Ai, you know her.
But why is it in Fall Guys?
Wait, let me look this up.
So the thing about Fall Guys is that you can put whatever the fuck skin on it. It's like putting a mask on. It's like putting a mask on Shrek. You know it's fucking Shrek, but it's a mask.
This is on a roll today.
Yeah, for real. I approve it though. But yeah, so Nico. But yeah, so this came out of complete nowhere. This wasn't what I was going to be talking about right now, but this just
Somebody
came out
once
of.
told me it's Shrek.
It's just Shrek. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are big Kisuna Eye fans out there, and you love Fall Guys. This is going to be the moment for you right now.
All eyes.
Yeah, look at that cutie patootie right there with the Fall Guy. Woo noise coming out of it.
Now we gotta play Left 4 Dead 2 with the fucking.
Kisuna Eye.
Oh my god.
Kaguya Luna me. Okay.
Is Fall Guys in season 4? Or like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on their 4th season right
That's
now.
what he just said.
damn, that was fast. I was like, I remember when they announced season 2, but I definitely must have missed season 3.
Yeah, see, I don't know where season 3 came from. I think they just went to 4.
Then again, though, the kitty cartoon game that's named after 14 days is up to like season 14 or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, I also
Jeez.
remember that wasn't season 2 the whole medieval shit, and then I guess season 3 was probably the holiday shit.
Oh, season 3 was the winter shenanigans.
Yeah, it was the
I
holiday
forgot
shit.
season 2 was medieval, honestly.
Yeah, season 2 was the medieval shit. I only know because of the dragon outfit you could
Yeah,
wear.
Yeah.
I remember season 2 because then also they made a huge deal about it. Like,
I heard
that's-
season 4 is going nuts because apparently there's like an actual team kind of thing you can do now. So I really want to see how that's going to turn out. If anybody here in the chat plays Fall Guys, let us know. Because like I heard that there were some very interesting things with the new season. So yeah.
I got
there's
some
squad
news too.
races.
I got some
more
gaming
points
news
and
too.
quicker for players to finish in the finish line.
I got some gaming news too, but it's mostly about Sony, and I think a lot of people kind of know it already.
They have a new game coming out or something?
No, well, okay, so now take this with a grain of salt because it's IGN. But Sony's reportedly closing the online store for the PlayStation 3.
Okay, yes,
PlayStation
I did hear about
Vita,
that.
Portable, yeah, like so. If you want to buy some stuff for the PlayStation Store, like for the PS3, do it now. Do it because it'll be your last time.
Well, you know what that means. Once they shuttered the store down, that means people should freaking custom firmware that shit.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say panic.
Yeah, that means people should fucking panic. And then after that, I think Sony did some other stuff too. You know, they got Crunchyroll, they got Evo. Why are they doing this?
Bottom
yeah,
line.
they did buy Evo recently, didn't they?
Yeah, they got Evo now. Why? Especially considering that they're like fuck Japan right now. So why are they doing this?
No idea, in all honesty.
Fuck Japan, but we brought Crunchyroll because we love Japan. But fuck Japan, like what?
Then again, though, here's the thing: you have never, if you went on vacation to Japan, you can't access Crunchyroll from Japan anyway, so it doesn't matter because obviously,
Right, but I'm saying like Sony fucking got in on that Crunchyroll. I'm like, it's kind of weird considering y'all said fuck Japan.
Well, also they said fuck the translators and fuck the timers too that go with that because you got to remember that they fucking make little money. The people that the people that fan sub the people that do the same jobs that fan sub people do, they get paid shit.
I do want to say real quick though, I am a little annoyed with the with this whole shutdown thing because it's like reminded me, yeah, you know, this shit is easy to take out. Like the moment it's gone, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna be gone from that point on.
I want to tell myself, I think the PlayStation library is actually the PlayStation 3 library is actually pretty good. Like it has some pretty good games on it.
Yeah, it does.
Well, yeah, and also not to mention that a lot of the issues right now is that you can't really play the PlayStation 3 games on like later consoles because the cell processor in it is very hard to emulate.
Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, are there any recommendations that you would say to get from the PlayStation Store that you think is a must essential kind of get? Because as one that's not really much of a Sony guy, I can't really share any opinion on that, you know.
You can only get Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 on the PlayStation Store for the PlayStation 3. There's my 2 cents.
That's it.
Take that gem and run home with it.
The issue is, like I said, That's why it's very important to have software preservation.
Mhm.
And like I said, all three of those systems are already fully hackable. So um, just gotta wait until if the online service closes, then well, that doesn't mean that Sony can't patch it later on. But if
If
it does,
anything, TSS, you bring up a point. I want them to just move some of those games that were on the store just over to the PlayStation 4's network store. I don't think it would be too difficult.
well, the virtual sorry, not the virtual the like the PlayStation 1 stuff, that's already there. PS2 stuff,
Yeah.
it's already there. Um, the PS3 stuff, like I said, if it's actually download software for the PS3, like I said, it's very difficult to emulate, so you're not going to see that there.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why it's
I
important.
kind of wish the PlayStation 3 was like the PlayStation 2, where it lived way past its fucking lifespan. Because
Well,
I
actually,
think the last PlayStation 2 game came out in 2014. Like, it was fucking weird.
Speaking of PlayStation, MVG did a video, and also this has been known for about the last week or so. There is a new soft mod for the PlayStation 1. If you have a PlayStation 1 that is not the first model, which is the 1000 series, you can it's called Tony Hacks, and the original exploit was
Tony Hacks Pro Hacker 3.
that's exactly what it is, Tyrone.
And nobody will ever know who Tony is.
You could load a hacked save from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 or 3, and now they have more games as well, because that's what the original exploit was. You load the exploit, then it unlocks the CD drive of the PlayStation.
Huh.
Basically it means now you can get past the wobble check, which means you can run burned games, among other things. So think of it as like it unlocks the CD drive, because there are special hidden command set to unlocking the PlayStation 1 drive. So now with the exploit, you can just take out the disc, pop in a out of region or a burned disc, and just play it without any consequence, and it would just work.
There's so much I'm learning about these consoles decade after it's already out or something.
It's also on GitHub, so they have the whole list on GitHub. But you can look at Tony Hacks, and
Damn.
basically, it's easy to put. It's pretty easy to put onto a PlayStation 1 memory card. Well, if you have free McBoot or free MC boot or however the fuck you call it for the PlayStation 2, and you have a USB drive, you can just do it that way. Or pretty much, I'm pretty sure soon enough people are going to start selling memory cards on eBay. So take a look on that one. Finally, after like 26, 27 years, we finally have a soft mod for the PlayStation 1.
Nice. Now let's go take a look at some other things that have been coming out for gaming news within this week. And another big announcement that just came out literally a couple of minutes ago before we started our podcast session for tonight. Who here is a fan of Pikmin? Because
it's all right.
It turns out that Pikmin is going to be getting something pretty big really soon on mobile devices, of all things.
I prefer to pick women, but it's your choice. Everybody.
No, Tyrone, that's the wrong answer. You wanted to pick Min Min.
Oh, yes.
I'm so sorry. I did that. I didn't mean it. Just came out.
So it's the same people who make Pokemon Go?
From what I'm reading here,
Niantic,
yeah. What would it be to have a more fun walking experience surrounded by Pikmin in a new mobile app developed by Niantic Labs and Nintendo coming later this year in 2021? Explore the real world and create memories with your Pikmin friends. Now, here's the thing, though. What?
What?
So if you have a fucking glitched Pikmin that's fucking eating a berry and it's like half eaten, that means you gotta wait 6 months for Niantic to fix it? Okay, cool.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But I want to know do they actually like register whatever's on the floor and then they pick it up or something? Like, what's going on here? I need to know the answers, man.
You know what? It's kind of weird though, like the AI, how that works. Because I know, like for Pokemon Go, like they have a feature where like Pokemon pretend that you're in the real life, but then I do notice sometimes it does glitch. Like it's like not 100%.
Hello, Niantic. How may I help you? Hello, Niantic. It's me
But
again.
I kind of know.
You're not gonna believe this one. You're not gonna.
I wouldn't be.
We told you never to call back here again.
Your little glitchy Pikmin friend probably trying to eat something. He's kind of like glitching up quite a bit. So I'm not going to expect any promises with this game, but I'm still. I might check it out though, just out of curiosity, just like because this is news for me.
Yeah, it's pretty much news for everybody, in all honesty.
Yeah,
Because nobody
exactly.
really knows what the hell this is going to be about.
No.
Oh, Radiant said a Pikmin spawned in my toilet.
His little purple head is just sticking out of the thing.
Bloop bloop.
Captain's log. Start date. Captain's log.
No. The thing is though, the Pikmin. No. The correct answer is the Pikmin actually wound up in the freaking Pride bagel that I saw around the corner, where it's all like freaking all rainbow and shit.
Oh, God. But yeah, so Pikmin, if you guys are big fans of Pikmin out there, yay, I guess.
No.
Honestly, I don't really know
But
what more to say.
Just remember how great Niantic treated Pokemon. Now you can get the same treatment for Pikmin. Right.
It'll only take you 3 to 4 years to actually finally get the full game, guys. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to whatever things they have in store for us, I guess, at this point. But that's really all I can say in regards to the Pikmin story so far anyway. I don't know if there's anything else in particular that it might hold. But yeah, so let's continue on though. Continuing on with our shenanigans of game announcements. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne finally got an official release date here for the West, which is going to be coming out on May 25th. Now, I have to ask, raise a hands for those here in the chat. How many of you guys know of the Shin Megami Tensei series?
I know of it.
So, yeah, I know of it because obviously it's tied as well to the Persona series, you know.
Yeah.
And Catherine.
And Catherine to an extent as well.
They're all in their own little weird
to
fucking
be fair,
universe.
To be fair, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Persona. I mean, to think about it that way, that's the name of Persona 3. That's the whole point. That was a spin-off. Now, Atlas, give us fucking Persona 3 for the PC. Thank you.
And for Switch, if you're not going to put in Persona 4 or 5 on the Switch, just give it to us there with 3.
Yeah, because like, hey, you're doing Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is the mainline game. Why don't you give us the other fucking game that has a 3 in it, and it's also the same fucking universe?
Donnie, to clarify what I'm talking about, most of the Shin Megami Tensei songs are on the jukebox in the Catherine game. So yes, there is a slight connection to Catherine and Shin Megami Tensei.
And that's why I said just slightly. All right. Continuing on, though. Big news for Monster Hunter fans. Monster Hunter Rise is coming out in just a few days. Who here is looking forward to getting this game, man?
People, as you see there, that's the unforeseen son of Spyro and Zamazenta right there.
We shall call it Magnamalo. Oh, wait. Yeah, so there's just a lot of gaming news that just coming out left and right, ladies and gents. You know, also, before I forget as well, because we have to also talk about this too, Mario is going to die in just a few days from now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's dying on my birthday. I kind of feel weird that he's dying on my birthday. Why is everything disappearing on my birthday, man?
Oh, the Mario Bros. Like 35 one?
Yeah, 35th is
Aw,
over.
I'm gonna miss that game.
Yeah, that game is going to be disappearing along with everything else. So if you haven't had a chance to play
Why is it
Mario
disappearing?
35, play it. You'll
It's
genuinely
so
have a
much
good time with
fun.
it. It is.
That means you're gonna have to try it in the weekend.
Wait, why is it disappearing?
Because
Because
it's part of the whole
just a
Mario
temporary-
35th anniversary.
Yeah, it was just a temporary thing.
That's stupid. It's a fun game. At this point, just keep it up there.
Nope, it's
I
disappearing.
They didn't get rid of
I love Mario.
They didn't get rid of
35.
Tetris 99.
Yeah, but it wasn't part of a celebration, which is why it still
Yeah.
stayed.
Still, it's a fun game. Just keep it up. Like, there's no
I
point in
know.
getting rid of it. Like, it benefits no one.
It's actually currently one of my favorite games right now because I don't know. I just love playing against all like 99 random people or 35 random
35.
people. Yeah, random people. And then I also like won several times too. And then when you win, you get tons of coins. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
I just don't see why they gotta take it off. Like,
yeah, this past weekend though, they had like a special where so you were actually playing the Mario Bros. Like the actual Mario game. So like you have to go like all the levels, and then of course if you knew the secrets, like to go find World 2, World 3, World 4, and then you go to World 4 if you know the secrets to get to World 8, all that. Like they like literally had that experience. But usually like every week they randomize it. So there was like 1 week where they just did specifically like World 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, and like 3, 3. So like they change it up every week.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, but it's fun though. I'm definitely sad for that one. I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah. Now, let's continue on with the world of gaming here, why don't we? So we actually have some more gaming news to talk about because we're going to be getting a Nintendo-based Direct in just a couple of days from now, to be honest. And let's talk about it real quick, why don't we? So, for mobile fans out there, Dragalia Lost is going to be celebrating its 2.5 anniversary with a Dragalia Digest, their Nintendo version of Direct, which will be airing on March 24th, featuring information on some of the events that are going to be happening, as well as new features dropping for the game as part of the 2.5 year anniversary update. I can't believe this game's been out for 2.5 years. Holy shit, time flies, man, when you don't notice these things. I'm just genuinely shocked at this. We're already about to celebrate 3 years later in the end of the year in September, man. And God, I've been with this franchise since its humble beginnings and seen it grow to what it is currently now. I'm very happy with the franchise, and I can't wait to see more of what Cygames has to deliver. And it makes me also happy to see more people out there appreciating Cygames in general. Because a lot of people might not notice, or they might as well. There was another mobile game that had dropped not too long ago that was well beloved, and so far a lot of people are truly enjoying it. That being Princess Connect Redive. So that is one thing that a lot of folks have been enjoying thus far. Another Cygames out there. And I also would love to see another Cygames that is not available here yet to also drop later this year. The Uma Musume Pretty Derby game that is on mobile devices that sadly is not available here in the West, which is sad to see because that game looks so much fun, man. And the popularity for the franchise is big now.
Also, apparently, from what I read, because one of my staff members pointed this out, but if you look at Uma Musume's kanji, like in the title, they actually removed 2 of the dots towards the bottom because usually the kanji for horse or Uma usually has 4 dots, and they removed 2 of them to signify they're being two-legged, and I'm like, really? yeah. Try to write that on the fucking computer. Like, that's like a custom fucking font. There's no way that you can actually do that.
I will say though, like I can't wait. I really hope this game drops here into the West, man. I'm loving everything I've been seeing about it so far. The popularity has grown tremendously. I watched this when it was just an anime at the time, when it had another game, I think, that wasn't doing so well, but they re-released it here and now. And of course, all the horses that you see in the game, or all the horse girls, I should say specifically, are actually tied to real life horses. And there is a lot of lore that goes down in that.
For a second, I thought you were going to say they were tied to real life girls, and I'm like, oh.
No, they're tied to real life horses. It's a thing. So you could literally learn about some of the history behind like the horses themselves. This is like apparently horse racing is super popular in Japan, from what I know.
Yes, and that's why if you wanted to buy like fucking grade 1 jockey from like 2008 or something from fucking like the PS2 or whatever, you got to pay fucking $95.
Yeah. Now, I also heard this, I don't know if this is true, but this shit has me concerned because apparently the mafia has a thing going for horse racing in Japan.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
mafia.
The Yakuza.
Yeah,
Yakuza.
Yeah, the Yakuza. Yeah, of course, Yakuza. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if
that story writes itself. You are paying $5,000 Sugar Bean's gonna win the race, or somebody's getting a leg broken. Like that's the whole.
Hell, even fucking Osamatsu-san had a fucking special with the fucking JRA to do a fucking promotion for the race for horse racing.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
Japan. Yeah.
Looks like you owed me some money. You said that Sugar Bean was gonna win the race. I did. You know what? I like this. So I'm cutting you off with a warning. Cut off his fucking hands.
So allow
With
me
a
to
friggin' pocket
explain
knife?
this real quick because this is interesting. The reason why Japanese artists cannot draw Uma Musume NSFW is that Uma Musume is based on real racehorses and their owners are like mafia bosses who control the Japanese economy. And
Yeah.
the thing is, we don't want to offend them.
That's
And there
the
was an
cool
artist,
thing.
I believe, that came out, drew NSFW of Uma Musume, got their ass handed to them by the mafia for a bit.
Ooh.
And here it says here, the content of the tweet in the image is complete BS. It is a falsehood that amounts to defamation of the racehorse owners. I have insulted the owners of racehorses and other people involved in horse racing, as well as the staff of the Uma Musume project. Racehorse owners are people who are sincerely committed to the culture of horse racing. They are not involved in antisocial organizations. They are not involved in any antisocial organizations. Why did they say that twice? I really do not know. For the short-sighted
You
reason.
made him say it.
Yeah, say that shit again just to make sure you got it.
Because usually in Japanese they like to repeat certain phrases to put the point across.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
For the short-sighted reason that I wanted to see NSFW art, in addition, I tried to make overseas artists complicit in the prohibition of secondary works that significantly worsen the image of the project, which is clearly stated in the official guidelines. This is all due to my short-sightedness and arrogance. I would like to express my deepest apologies to everyone involved and to all those who have supported me. That's what they had to write because of NSFW. You would think that this wouldn't be real. It's real. All of this that I just talked about, all of this shit is real.
And it's like all the talk in Reddit.
Get your
too,
ass
'cause that was-
fucking pick 6.
You know what?
Damn.
I like you, so I'll get you off with a warning. Fucking kill him. It's like you just hear like a silencer in the back.
Problem solved.
As I
Oh,
was
we
saying,
know they're alive still. So
all money on Sugar Bean.
His name is Revolver, right?
Ooh,
all
who's
money
the
on
Pretty
Sugar
Derby? Is that the one that they're?
Yeah, Uma Musume pretty derby, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but yeah, don't do anything out of field when it comes to Uma Musume. It may get big, but it doesn't want to go to that level of big.
Yeah,
And,
we don't want to piss off the wrong
which is kind of funny because some of those horse girl designs, if you see them, like Daiwa Scarlet is a perfect example. You look at her design, you're like, I'm pretty confident that design is just straight up NSFW, and yet somehow it's officially a horse girl design. But yeah, so things like that, you know, great game still. Just be in mind that the mafia will come after your ass. Listen,
Don't fuck with the JRA.
yeah, not even
wanna
the
keep all
mafia
my body
here in
parts,
Brooklyn
thank
can't
you.
do shit against this here. So that just shows you just how big this shit is. But yeah, get your ass beat for horse.
I was like, I want to keep my body parts, thank you.
Your leg and everything else is gone.
Yes.
But yeah, so
It's gonna look like you're playing Yakuza 0 where guys are gonna beat the shit out of you and 30,000 yen just disappears from your face.
Oh God.
now let's talk about something that I don't know how fans would feel about, but this is involving Discord. I don't know how many of you guys heard about what happened recently.
Yes.
So this just came in from Bloomberg specifically. Microsoft is actually in talks right now to acquire and purchase Discord, a video game chat community, for more than $10 billion, according to people familiar with the matter.
Yeah, you know what the problem is? Microsoft bought Skype. See how that fucking happened? You'd see what the fuck they did. They fucking took away. They took away the super node. They took away the super nodes, and it took away the stability.
Yeah.
And not to mention that any link that you send goes through fucking Microsoft servers.
Yep.
So you know what that means? It's time to build our own network.
All right, so KG, I decided to entertain this, and I typed in the name of the show you were mentioning before on Google, and I don't want no fucking. First of all, chat. I don't want no fucking Tyrone loves to fuck horse bitches or whatever. On the back. That's hot, okay. Yeah, that's hot.
I'm telling you, man, the designs of the
Horse. Yeah. Exposed. No.
Congratulations, Tyrone. You have now become a furry. I'm telling you, man, the designs of the girls in that game are straight up not begging to be drawn in that shit.
Oh my god.
Yes. No.
Wait, no.
I'm in tears.
Donnie, that's why you always get the best reaction.
Oh my god. Oh.
We're not even 40 minutes in.
My stomach hurts.
No.
Oh, so by the way, speaking of games, I have been playing the new Densha to Go game that came out for the Switch on Thursday. Densha to Go Hashiro Yamanote-san. And let me tell
are you talking
something.
about the train?
Yes.
The train of the year, as I call
Oh,
it.
you weren't like 20
Yes.
hours in?
I'm actually almost. I'm actually 19 hours into the game.
What's the game called again, so I could get a screenshot of it?
I'll give you the damn link to it.
All right, thank you. But yeah, so while we're at it, yes, there are train games out there for the Nintendo Switch. TSS actually managed to get a hold of one, and as he just stated, he has played a bit of it for the time being. And I guess we're gonna hear his take on it because I mean, trains, the game, man. It's
but the thing is though, it's like let me see if I can find the box art.
I remember you posting it the other day.
Let me see. I think I can actually get the Amazon link or something like that.
the only train game I'm ever probably gonna touch that's on the Switch right now is that weird visual novel one that has the girls there, apparently with like train visual novel game. I'm not really sure how it works. It does look cute, the art style though. So I'll give it a look maybe sometime later.
I never see the train game.
You gotta dig deep in the eShop just to find these sort of things. They're not gonna be up in the front and center for
Oh
you.
no,
They're gonna be like
probably not
hidden in there.
Not high res, but this will do.
All right, don't worry, that's perfectly fine right there.
Yeah,
that's
so
the one I remember.
the Densha to Go series is from Taito, which is now owned by Square Enix.
As shown right there at the bottom right.
Yeah, you can actually get it. You could also search for like screenshots in the game, but you could actually check on my
Wait,
channel.
are those trains flying? Look at the ones at the top, like they look like they're just blasting off.
Well, the thing is though that they all here are the trains that you can actually drive in the game. You have in the center is the Yamanote Line E235 series. The one on the left is the Keihin Tohoku Line E233 3000 series, 3000 series. Then you have the Saikyo Line above that, and then to the right that is the Narita Express. To the right of that is the the Sobu Line local service, and below that is the Ueno Tokyo Line. Now, let me tell you this. It's now that I've played 19 hours into this game. The game looks
Wait, when did
fantastic.
you get this game again?
I got it on Friday.
19 hours.
19 hours.
19 hours.
I'm kidding.
19 hours because, first of all, the game is a great challenge. And I'm not even done with the fucking game yet. I'm about maybe halfway through the game.
Wow, what the heck? What kind of train game has content that's so big like this? Jesus Christ.
Well, it's because
Square Enix, so it's a TRPG.
Well, it's it's basically you have a bunch of challenges, right? It's all about the challenges, the brand new world and the brand so this is based off of the 2017 arcade reboot, which I played in Japan a couple of times, and it's a fantastic game. If you look at the arcade cabinet of the new Densha to Go, it's actually like literally they took a train cab and put it as an arcade game. It's a fantastic thing. So they ported it for the PS4. The PS4 version released back in November, and the Switch version came out on March the 18th. And they have the arcade mode, which has the Yamanote line and the Sobu line, and then the other lines you see the other five lines, the other four lines on the left there, you could play in the home mode, but also in the free run mode you can actually run the entire Yamanote line loop, counterclockwise loop, which takes about 70 minutes. But what really makes this game really fun is the challenging single player mode. It's the driver's away mode. And you have different paths. You basically have to clear the missions. And then, of course, you have secret missions. And at the end of each section, you take an exam, like a train exam. And then if you pass that, you go on to the next level. And there's 4 difficulty levels: easy, normal, hard, and very hard. But you have to remember that this game has all different types of weather, all different types of passengers. So you can get a full rush hour train or an empty train. You can go in the morning, afternoon, evening time, not night. There's no night mode. But you can also drive in the rain, sunny day, or snow. And that affects the traction. Even the different cars, the train sets, all handled differently. So it's all a variable. So basically, the whole goal of Densha to Go is you have to get from station to station, obeying speed limits, obeying signals, honking horns at the either rail fans or the workers, and then turning your lights on and off when trains pass by. And then you get stars, you get hearts, and you're supposed to get a high score. So they have a ranking system from D to S. But like I said, once you start playing, then you'll understand. It's a game where you don't necessarily need to know Japanese to play it, because there's obviously a translation guide, because basically all the stuff is on the screen. It's basically you're driving the train and you see all the gauges. That's basically it. And then certain missions, you have to clear certain criteria, like if you have to stop within like 3 meters of the stop line, or you have to honk your horn at like one of the a few times at the workers, or you have to get 3 star. You have to clear 3 stars a certain amount of times. So it has a lot of replay value, and plus it's $50. And that's why I bought it like now, because let me tell you this: horse racing games and train games are the 2 games in the used market that freaking hold their value, or even are even more expensive. There was a game on the PS2 and the PS3 as well called Train Simulator that came out in the mid to late 2000s. When they were new, they were like 7,000 or 8,000 yen. Right now, if you wanted to get a copy of Train Simulator for the PS2, you have to pay $115.
Jeez.
Used.
Ow.
Used.
That. God, even now, I
how
know
can you
this
buy?
isn't-
Okay, Mornox. How can you buy the game? You could buy the game on CD Japan or Play Asia.
I never knew train games cost that much money, man. Why?
because they're rail fans, and that's why if you don't get it new when it's first out, you're fucked. But I will say, if there is one version of the series, because Densha to Go has been going on since 1996. And this is the first new home console entry in 17 years. Like 17, 18 years. Because they have released the Densha to Go re-releases on like the DS and the PSP. But those were based off of Densha to Go Final, and there was another one where it's like the Densha to Go Yamanote line for the DS or the 3DS. Again, that's a portable, but this is the first home console version of Densha to Go since Densha to Go Final from 2003. But definitely worth every penny. You got to check it out. Just check out videos on YouTube, check out videos on Twitch, including mine, and you see how fun the game actually is. You really have to pay attention in order to get high scores in that game, but it's really fun and really engaging.
So overall, you would say it's a worth it kind of purchase.
Yes, I would give it a 9.5. The only reason why I don't give it a perfect 10 is because they do not have the departure medleys. Usually when trains leave Japan,
The Hunter
they
x
usually
Hunter
have
opening song?
Yep, that one.
Right. So basically, in older versions of the title, you sometimes would get the medley music when it leaves the station. Before it leaves the station, they call it departure medley. But I'm guessing because since all of the music is copyrighted, they guess they didn't want to pay the copyright fees, so all they have is just a generic like chime, a generic like generic chime, and that's it. I mean, that's the only thing that I would say negative about the game. Everything else, including like all the other lines that you can unlock and the challenge modes and everything, worth your money, and the free run mode as well. Like I said, you just want to chill and freaking go an entire loop of the Yamanote line, 70 minutes, you can do it. You could even let the computer drive the damn train in free run mode, and then you could just control the horn and the fucking wipers and lights and shit. So it is truly an immersive game, and I definitely would recommend it.
Neat. Now, let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes as well to talk about some other things. Earlier before, I was just joking about this Hunter x Hunter thing. I have great news for Hunter x Hunter fans. As you know, Hunter x Hunter manga is going to be scheduled to return this May, and the anime is going to be animated by Studio Mappa, coming out late Christmas. Oops.
People just call it Hunter x Hunter.
I know, right? Here's the big issue. I love that the community fucking fell for it. Take a look at
because
you look
at
the
username. Look at the username.
Exactly. Take a look at the username right there. Grim Joe Reaper. I didn't know that was Crunchyroll out there. I saw that shit immediately. A good pal of ours, Roger's Base, he posted a video where he fucking flipped out in his bed because he was looking at it from afar and he thought that what he saw was actually Crunchyroll tweeting it.
This is why you don't.
I think I saw something like that earlier.
This
I
is
was
why
like,
you
what the
don't.
heck's going on?
This is why you don't believe rumors. You have to get it from the main source.
No, that they thought this was the main source.
No,
It ain't the horse's mouth.
But you got to pay attention. You got to read.
Yeah, you gotta actually read this shit, man.
You got to read, man.
All right, now one last thing though. This is gonna be our big topic before we get into the discussion for tonight. How many of you guys want to feel old right now?
I already do.
All right, well, good news then. The Game Boy Advance just celebrated its 20th birthday.
Oh, that's not that bad, actually.
Yeah.
You know, back then when we used to think that the 20th, year or something like that used to be like maybe the NES days or something like that. No,
Wait a minute.
it was
How old
back
is
in
Game Boy
2000.
Color if that's the case?
Yeah, you would think.
Game Boy Color is 23 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not bad. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's not bad.
I remember owning JP.
And also, it's Nintendo's first system based off of ARM CPU.
I thought you were going to say some Game Boy celebrating its 30th anniversary. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Nah, but still, 20 years is still 20 years. And I want to take a second to talk about probably one of the greatest handhelds of all goddamn time. In my humble opinion.
The Game Boy Advance can't drink yet, so we're good.
Yeah, it will next year. How did you guys? How many of you guys saw that joke about like people looking at your ID card, immediately looking at for like a split second and then giving it back because you realize that all you have to do is look at the 19 part of the year and you already know.
Yeah, you already wrapped it up. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like shit. Nah, but I want to take this chance to talk about some of my personal favorite games. From the Game Boy Advance, because just like many out there, I grew up with the SNES, but like I didn't really get much access to a lot of consoles until far, far later into its lifetime. But fortunately, I was very lucky enough to have been given the Game Boy Advance during its beginnings. And there was a franchise in particular that I grew up with from beginning to end. I want to take some time to give credit to one of my personal favorite Mega Man spin-off games out there, the Battle Network series. Spanning 6 different games total throughout the Game Boy Advance lifetime, man. Mega Man Battle Network, in my opinion, is my preferred Mega Man game out of everything out there. I prefer it more than the original. I prefer it more than X. I prefer it more than any of the other spin-offs like Zero, Star Force. To me, my Mega Man is EXE Mega Man. I grew with this series. This is one of the games that got me into, surprisingly enough, RPGs.
KG, can I share some some Mega Man EXE story with you.
All right, sure.
Well,
I'm
at least,
fucking-
yeah, just watch it. Just watch the Mega Man NT Warrior intro in German, and we're all
somebody. So there's that clip
good.
where
Secret not the Mega Man.
there's that clip where Lan is talking to the fish guy, the fish salesman,
Yeah.
and he's like, "That's not all. If we jack into the net, then our net navies engage in seriously cool cyber battles. But instead of showing the cyber battle, it shows Ruby from the Ruby series getting thrown away by Penny from the Ruby series in the trash can. And then it cuts back to Lan going, you gotta admit that's pretty tight." Like, it's so stupid. Oh god. Oh, I saw that too. I was gonna
Yeah,
say that
this
video.
is where I began to realize, holy shit, Mega Man Battle. Because a lot of people might not know this. The Mega Man Battle Network series was a launch title. This was one of the launch titles that started off with the GBA. And it stuck through till the end, man. Having 6 different versions out there, and even a DS version for Mega Man Battle Network 5. So a lot of great things from it, and of course, a lot of people are now wondering, because we are in the 20th anniversary, could this hint at a Mega Man Battle Network collection? Because if they do a Mega Man Battle Network collection, I'm a buy that shit, man, immediately, because I want to see what the Capcom folks are going to be doing with Mega Man Battle Network, particularly with 3, with 4, 5, and 6, because that's where the split came through. And I need to see how they intend to take care of certain chip datas and other information like that are exclusive to trading, that I'm pretty confident you can no longer do in the release of this game when it comes out in the collection. I will say though, if they somehow, because X and the original Legacy Collection, when they came out, they were given a lot of features that were completely brand new, like having certain boss fights from 5 and 6 and stuff like that, fighting against Mega Man X that's like from the first version or something like that. There's a lot of speculation going around, but I want to bring in one of my cool ideas that I think would be awesome to do right now. I would love a Mega Man Battle Network online play, because that shit would be hype as hell, because it's always about the collecting, it's about the combinations, it's about the way you play. I think there is so much potential with the Mega Man Battle Network franchise. It would be a missed opportunity for them to not incorporate online play with the versus mode. That would be really, really great.
How about they just make a new fucking game?
Well, it's been over how many years now, and I don't think the folks that originally worked on it can make any more, especially given that if you've played Mega Man Battle Network 6, you'll know that was the conclusion. Like, they actually wrapped up the story there.
They reboot the game.
Yeah, but they did that
It's not the
actually.
same.
They did that with Star Force, which they did do a crossover with Star Force in 2 separate occasions, in the original Mega Man Star Force 1 game, and in the collaboration between Mega Man Star Force and Mega Man EXE, the first. So, if anything, we need to see where the hell is our Star Force 4 at this point. It's similar to like Mega Man Legends 3 that's still stuck in the moon up there. That's how long we're waiting for whenever we get our hands on Mega Man. Mega Man Star Force 4, which I did hear there was a lot of like concept art that came out for it as it was being worked on, like at the very beginning steps of the series, where apparently Mega Man Star Force was supposed to be focused on your main protagonist actually becoming a rogue-like character, like he's being hunted down by the police force for some reason, but you don't know why at that time. So there's a lot of things like that, excuse me, that I feel has a lot of potential to be a cool sequel for it, if they ever do. So with all that being said, the Game Boy Advance series, I love it so much. I grew up with this little small console. I even got the micro somewhere over here. It's gone because I don't know, it's fucking small. It's a micro thing. It's gonna be lost at some point. But the Yoshi Island game, the Super Mario Bros. Collection, Golden Sun, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That's where it all began. Let me see what else off the top of my head. Hell, even
Mother
some
3.
even some like games that you wouldn't expect to be pretty good, like those from like the ones that are tied to like films and stuff. They tend to be pretty great too. Mario Kart, there are Pokemon games, of course. You can't go wrong with that. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. In my opinion, really good games there. Fire Emblem, like a lot of great games came into
Advance
the
Wars.
Game Boy Advance, and yeah, that Kirby,
Sonic Advances 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Sonic Battle.
I actually own. I would say I remember owning Sonic Advance.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, man. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, there was a
Mario Kart
lot of good in that.
Mario Kart Advance is pretty technically impressive.
Yeah, it feels like as if it's from Mario Kart 64 with the sprite designs and all that.
And
also,
I'm trying.
go on.
No, I'm gonna say I'm trying to remember what other games, but I'm like remembering like I actually didn't own too many of the Game Boy Advance games. I think it was probably when the DS came out because I think I was still at the time like I
Ace
didn't
Attorney.
have yes, I forgot about Ace Attorney.
I always thought Ace
I
Attorney
got-
was a DS
I love
game.
it.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Captain Cyclone 1 and 2 is on freaking.
But yeah, like I was trying to remember, and I was like, oh yeah, probably around that era that since I wasn't even working or like it was still making allowance, so I was like, I didn't own too many games, and plus my parents didn't buy me games, so I was on my own on that. I think it was until the DS era then I was able to finally get my own everything.
The Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku's 1, 2, and Boo's Fury.
Oh
1.
man, I never actually got a chance to play 2 yet. I only played 1
What?
and
That's the
3.
best one, KG.
Yeah, I never got a chance to play it, man.
That's the best one.
I thought
And
3
you
was
missed
the
one.
best one, honestly.
No, Legacy of Goku 2 is the
He's
best.
like, what?
Okay, so because we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of just the Game Boy Advance, and also surprisingly as well, Mega Man Battle Network, I wanted to make like a little small announcement here. I'm gonna breeze through these Mega Man games on stream here on Twitch. I actually intend to do a full playthrough of the entire Mega Man series here later this week. Probably on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll keep you guys updated on Twitter. But I do intend to play through the entire Mega Man Battle Network franchise once again because I love this series so much. There's just so much about this game that's incredibly fun, addicting. Some might be outdated, of course, because the original Mega Man Battle Network, when that came out, had a lot of technical difficulties or technical issues there. And for a first title, obviously it's going to have those flaws. But the sequels make up for it tremendously.
Yeah.
So I intend to play through the Mega Man Battle Network series. However, for the first one, Mega Man Battle Network 1, I ain't going to be playing the original. I intend to be playing Operation Shooting Star, which was a remake, well, quote-unquote remake of a game from Mega Man Battle Network 1 that released on the Nintendo DS that was also a crossover with Mega Man Star Force. And that's going to be the one that I intend to play for the channel. So I'm going to be playing the Mega Man Battle Network 1 Operation Shooting Star game in the run. So it's going to be a lot of fun to try that out. We're obviously going to be completing some things real soon as well here on this channel. We're going to be completing Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I think, next week, because later this week, we're going to be entering back with Terrell for Black and White, because I think he's also wrapping things up for that too.
Yeah.
And then to coincide with that as well, once the Heart Gold and Soul Silver playthrough is completed, which is going to be next week, we are finally going to be, after many years of waiting for this moment because it took so long to get to this point, I am finally going to be playing Black 2 and White 2 for the first time.
And while KG's playing Black 2, I'll be playing Pokemon Y. Nuzlocke.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's going to be happening within this sort of month, man. There's so much to look forward to. We hope you guys are excited for that. KG, you need to finish Fire Red, though. It is complete. I just never uploaded the parts onto the channel. It's just become a joke so far where we just don't ever upload those parts no more, because otherwise the people asking for it will never end. But yeah, so Once again, look forward later this week, Mega Man Battle Network, Operation Shooting Star. Next week, the finale to Black and White, as well as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Moving into the month of April, where we're going to be now entering into the Pokemon Y Nuzlocke playthrough by Tyrone, as well as my first official playthrough of Pokemon Black 2, White 2. I can finally see this game in its entirety. I have not touched that game like completely, maybe like only the first 20-30 minutes or something, but it's been so long since then. It is about time we finally get into that adventure again. I have put that game down to the side for so long. It is time to finally see what people are going so nuts about it. And seeing Terrell's playthrough Black and White as a way to refresh my memory in regards to the lore and content that dives into the world of Unova. Going into Black 2 and White 2 is going to be a lot of fun this time around. Yep. KG stints are about to be amended. Well, we'll see on that. But yeah, so this is going to be a fun end of the month and also a fun end of the year as well. At the end of the month and the start of the next month with April. We got a lot of great content coming forward for you guys. So we hope you look forward to it all. There will be some things, a little bit, not hiccups or anything, starting next week, because next week I'm also going to be having this room cleaned up. And when I say cleaned up, I mean we're going to be painting the walls and all that. So I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen. Maybe it might be on Tuesday. And if that's the case, I don't think I'll be able to play Heart Gold and Soul Silver on that day, and might have to postpone it to like Thursday or some other day, or maybe Friday. But I'll keep you guys here in the call, as well as to those in the chat, updated. But I think they're supposed to be coming to work on the paint job on Tuesday. So I'll take a look on that. And I'll keep you guys updated regarding that when we get to it. But for now,
Also check Discord. Check Discord, KJ, please.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Tell him. Well, actually, let me go into. Oh, my God. I wrote that pretty tight.
No. Main.
I know. All right, then. Hold on. Let me just let him know.
Alrighty.
Okay, so now with all that out of the way, we hope you guys enjoyed our first hour of shenanigans. We hope you guys got up to date regarding what it is that we intend to do for the end of this month, and then moving into the following month, into April, as well as some of our other folks here in this call as well. TSS is still playing Tales of Symphonia.
That's right.
You have to check that out, chat. You really, it's on his channel. TSS, would you like to let them know where to look at that?
Sure. TSS_killer on Twitch. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Join me then.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's now continue on, why don't we? So we have a lot to talk about for tonight, I think. There's a lot to get into for tonight. I'm going to try to see. Hold on. Let me actually. Oh my God, there's a lot of shit. Hold on. Let me just try to add these files right now, because I completely forgot to do that. There's a lot of files to add for here. Let me see. Okay.
And then, folks, you're actually pronouncing that wrong.
Okay, hit OK. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we got, once again, I think I just heard somebody come into the call right now, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hey, it's Trey. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, thank you for having me on it today, bro. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem.
Thank you, Donnie, for the plug.
And indeed. So let's now get right into it. KG, are you aware of Lumio's trainer Zach's YouTube post? Yes, it is that time. You know, coincidentally enough, about that copyright strike, it happened in the same month again. Did anybody else notice that? Because when my channel, amongst other Anti-Poke tubers, got their channels taken down, it was around this time as well, in the month of March. So it's been like, 4 years, I think, since I've lost my channel on that platform with KG Prestige, unfortunately. So it makes me sad to see that that this sort of situation is still continuing on, even after many years had passed by. But I'm very happy for Zach that he mentioned that he's still going to continue to produce the same style of content. He doesn't intend to switch things up just because he got a strike right here in this current moment. He still intends to deliver the way he wants to, because that's just his format, and I give him credit to that. So hopefully Zach's situation, as well as I believe Filippo, who also got their stuff taken down as well with some of the music content, I hope they can get their stuff resolved soon. But yeah, so with that being said, guys, you ready to jump into the review for tonight?
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, man, this one was good.
All right, then. So let's get right into it, ladies and gents. Today we are going to be talking about the latest episode of PM 2019. In fact, the final episode for this month, to be exact. So we have a lot to discuss with this one, and let's get right into it. So let's begin off with the big thing that we see literally right there on screen. 273. So yeah, once again, through the power of off-screen land, Ash's rank did shoot up a bit. I did state I would flip off if somehow the rank was to be super close to the ultra rank, to the ultra ranking, that if Ash was to have gotten to ultra rank in this episode, I would have been ticked off. Good news, though. He didn't. And thankfully, we don't have to worry about that right now. So, yeah, Ash didn't get to Ultra Rank in this episode, but there is a lot of wonderful development that happened.
This is dangerously close. Out of all the people entering in the tournament, that's pretty fucking close.
Yeah, indeed, man. It's like, I kind of... And you know what kind of aggravated me more? Is that during that shot when they showed 273... they started to show off all of the Pokemon in Ash's team, even Mr. Fish as well. And it's like, you're telling me Mr. Fish had a battle somewhere? And I couldn't see Mr. Fish fight? I couldn't see my boy, the Fishman, come in and win?
Fishy.
Yeah, he
Fishy
could.
there.
Yeah, something's awfully fishy about this style of...
Yes.
This would be the first time they show him too after freaking his capture, man.
Yeah, like that's like it's surprising that he's in that particular screen, but not in the photo shoot at like the start of the episode, which I find shocking. Maybe by the time we get into April with the latest episode, Mr. Fish will finally show up there, but we'll see what happens. Now, let's begin with the first thing to talk about for tonight. Let's talk about the disrespect that they did to my boy Suicune once again in this. Every week, man, they keep doing something different. But I wanted to just show off a little bit about because this only shows up for 2 frames, by the way. The Oshawott and the Hitmonlee, that's like with this cool top hat right there on its again. Like, okay, so in case people don't know, in episode 30 of the Pokemon Journeys anime, there was a scene when Pikachu and Mr. Mime were going off to Delia's home, where they had an Oshawott in the vehicle, exactly in that same pose that you see right there on screen.
Yep.
That Oshawott is the same one that we're seeing right here in this episode, but for some reason they decided to add the Hitmonlee with the hat on for no real reason, because once again, this frame that you're seeing right now only lasts for maybe 2 to 3 frames at best.
And people liked, and apparently some people like the Daihatsu Wake, which is shown on screen. Because we gotta have our K cars.
Yeah, for real, man. Look at that weird ass handle and everything. So yeah, I just want to bring that up real quick about the Oshawott and Hitmonlee thing. Once again, it's like a little nice tease or an Easter egg, really, for a gag that I don't understand why, but yeah, it exists. So there you go. All right, now let's get to the episode. Why don't we? Sure. This episode is interesting, I will say. Honestly, I'm very happy with how they developed my boy Farfetch'd, and even the new YAMON that everybody was going nuts about.
But that's not what he said.
I know. We're going to obviously get into that real soon, because I feel like there's something that we're missing with that. It's not even shown in the little thing at the very top there for the session title. But I will say, I'm very happy they tried to keep it as close to the original KAMON that they did, because I mentioned in the last one, if they decided to allow Grookey to stay as Grookey throughout his cries in the show, then there shouldn't be any reason why KAMON couldn't stay as that. And they kind of played around with it while still keeping that same sort of style in check, except changing the K to something else. So we'll get into that soon. And let's start breaking things down bit by bit. And I'll start off here real quick. I'm going to say I had a fun time with this episode. I think this was a good way to kind of go out before we head into a break. I really loved Farfetch's development in this episode. I really loved the evolution sequence. The animation during the Surfetch fight, though, was really, really good. Like, I really enjoyed that animation there. Note that I'm saying the Surfetch moments, though. We'll get into that in just a bit. There was also a really random Bellsprout moment that we're seeing here that was used at the start of the episode, I guess as a way to kind of show off exactly the Grookey that, you know, the personality it contains and all that. And also how Grookey was responsible for the capture of the Bellsprout. I thought that was actually really cute. That's going to be the one instance where I'm going to say, you know what, Grookey, you did pretty good. I really did enjoy that. So, yeah, for that moment there where Go allowed the Grookey to get a new friend in the form of Bellsprout, thumbs up in my book. Once again, Rinto coming back. They actually explained why Rinto and Ash didn't fight originally, which I thought was a nice little small nod there. Explaining exactly why it is they didn't fight against each other via the Pokemon World Championships. And that was because of the fact that apparently Rinto was in a different ranking compared to Ash at that time. And
class. He wasn't in the same class?
Yeah, he was in the traditional normal class, I think it was, and Ash was in the super class. And because of those ranking differences, that's why they didn't actually fight against each other. However, as time passed on, Rinto finally made it into the super class. We never got to see his ranking, I believe, but he is in super class, and that's how both Ash and Rinto were able to duke it out with each other. So you got to see the fight in action, like I mentioned before. I liked how the battle was structured. I thought it was very fun, and overall, what more to say than, a pleasant experience. I will say one thing for Surfetch. Please don't let this be the end of him, because I'm really starting to get scared of this structure that they're doing where it's like, there's the capture episode, there's the development episode, there's that little cameo in the episode, and then there's the actual episode where it fights. Because if you've noticed, a lot of this format is structured similarly to past Pokemon within Ash's team here in Journeys. Let's take a look back at Dragonite. Dragonite had the capture. It had the raid battle fight against the Golurk, which was used as a way of development there. And then it had the Karina fight, which was technically its big fight, and that's how it wrapped up its story there for the time being. Let's go to Lucario, hatched as a Riolu, got some development in the form of the beef fights and all that, and then ending things off with the big fight against Chairman Rose in the Sword and Shield arc. And that's where we left things off for him for the time being. Here we are now with KAMON, whose capture came down. Then he had some development, two little small developments. The first one being the loss it had against B at the first fight. And then the second one being of the actual development episode we got for it, and where Rinto made his debut in the series. And then there was the actual, what was it, the Elite Four episode as well. So, well, Wickstrom, yeah. And then we get into the big fight here. I really don't want to see this being Surfetch's last moment until later down the road. I hope we get to see more of Surfetch, because they teased his personality, his updated personality, where he's like very, very loyal to his master, to his king, basically, where he shields himself from Ash from getting hit by like the water. I was like, bro, I think there are great things coming from this Pokemon. Yeah. And I hope we don't ignore that. So overall, in my opinion, I really, really loved the episode. It was a lot of fun. And I'm going to pass this on to any of you guys here in the call. You know what? Actually, let's bring our guest here first.
Trey go first.
Yeah. Trey, let me pass this one on to you. And now that I've shared my thoughts, though, I really want to hear your take on the episode overall. What did you think about it?
I actually really loved it. Like, for some reason, like the last couple of like the Grookey episode and the two-parter, like it was just like they did not hit. But this episode, I gotta say, was one of my favorites in Journeys in a long time. So for starters, I just want to mention the stuff you mentioned about the Surface development. I also hope this isn't the end. Like Rento was such a great rival introduced, where a lot of people were complaining like, wait, Ash lost to Rento when he was in the normal class. But I just said, think about it this way. Ash is in the super class. Say if Cynthia just enters right now, she'll be in the normal class as well. Obviously, she's stronger than Ash more than likely right now. So just because of, your rank doesn't mean your strength. So I just love that about Rento's character. Like he had the skills to back up, and just it made the fight so great with Farfetch. Overall, Farfetch's development was great, where it went from not caring about Ash, smacking him around with his leak in a couple episodes, to gaining that trust to in this episode where we get to see them fighting as one. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Ash said "Motomoto Siyoku" a couple times this episode.
Yeah.
I was like,
Motomoto
yo.
Yeah, moto tsuyoku.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
Trey, thank you for bringing that up, though, because I think that was the highlight in this episode, where he's like, yo, Surfetch, let's get stronger together. Leon is waiting for us. And I was like, yes, that is the sting I was missing from this series. And I was so happy to see it, man. It was such a small line, but it's something that we've been wanting to see on screen for so long. And it paid off, I think, in that Surfetch moment. But continuing on, Trey.
Yeah, agreed, bro. Like overall, I actually rated this episode like
I'm
this
sorry,
is
what was that? What was that? You gotta repeat it.
Yeah, you kind of cut off there, Trey, for a bit.
Yeah.
But hopefully you hear us again.
Continue.
Go ahead.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
internets.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh.
Repeat the rating because that cut out.
I was saying that overall, I actually rated this a 10 out of 10. Like, this is the first in a while that I did that for Journeys. It was just that good. Now, I will admit, there are some things I would have did differently. I would have had Surfetch and Rento tie, considering they put a black and white on us where Pokemon evolves and then gets the automatic win. But just Farfetch's development overall was just so good of it, gaining this trust with Ash. I actually could let this one slide.
That's why people have opinions.
I know.
Could
Sorry, Trey. Sorry. The 10 from the 10 got me. Go ahead.
Oh man, you can go ahead, bro. Actually, I like to hear what you say.
Well, no, let Nessa go because I know she wanted to say something. I heard her.
No, I wasn't ready. I was like, okay, no. I actually, I'm gonna be honest. I actually really enjoyed this episode too. It was finally like I think the last couple of weeks has been kind of slow, so so it was kind of nice. Like this episode finally was actually picked up the series a bit more. So I'm actually was really quite happy with this episode. I actually watched this episode a little bit differently because I used to do when prior to watch Pokemon episodes, and this may explain why I'm not very familiar with I know TSS and Polly are so into the background music. I tend to kind of shield it out and put my own music in there. So then I was kind of watching that, and so I remember the very beginning of this episode when they showed the montage of the Pokemon World Championships. I kind of noticed, I guess, all the 3 scenes they did actually show, they were all women. I'm sitting here kind of funny how Ash, a lot of Ash's Pokemon World Championships battles with the women were one of the better ones in battle wise until Rinto. So I kind of was So I was kind of I was just realizing I'm oh that's actually kind of cool though. It's kind of funny how they're giving more of a fight, and so. And then also a song popped up in my head too when I saw that, so it was I started jamming to it. But anyways, continue on. So as I was watching this episode, I noticed that I did notice for example Ringto, I guess at first when I saw this scene where they didn't battle and everything like that though, but I kind of noticed he kind of had a little cockiness to him. There was that one scene, I guess, because he kept telling Ash he was inadequate and won't tell him why, and then Go kind of defended him, saying he's like, why you're saying you're inadequate, and like why you won't tell him. And I kind of love his snarkiness reply. He's like, because I'm not a gym leader, so I don't have to tell him crap. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
I kind of like that.
I kind of
like
like that, yeah. So I was like, it's true. Like, yeah, he's not a gym leader. He's not like anything like in the top saying in position to say anything. So yeah, like he had a point. So I actually like that bit, and so that kind of got me a little bit liking his character more as. And so it kind of raised the stakes for this battle quite a little bit more, and then also it's like. And also too, and then finally we got seeing Ash back into like I guess now more his game face for battle. So like I know you guys already mentioned about the multiple like I love that scene. And there was a couple scenes like especially when the Farfetch was at his low point, after his leak got cut.
Yeah,
that was like one of my favorite moments where he kind of made Farfetch realize. Oh, you could use that as a sword and shield, like remembering from like the past episode with Wilkstrom. I was like, that was one of another favorite bits I really loved of this episode, and so I kind of love that callback, and that was actually pretty genius using his leak as like a sword and shield.
Yeah.
So that was actually to me that was actually pretty genius though, and also and then also kind of like that little foreshadowing before he evolved. So I really like that. And so that was so that was my biggest points, and also the Pokemon World Championship Rotom. I kind of crack up when he said, I think this kind of like stare or something like that. I was like, what the fuck?
Actually, Nessa, that's a perfect thing to bring up. I want to ask everybody in the call and to those in the chat right now, who else got thrown off by Pocket Monsters when the credits?
Well, first of all, it's fucking Maxwell Powers. First of all, he's back. I like that. First of all, because he was actually on the M23 announcement stream. You could actually see him because he was actually on. You could actually see him because he was wearing.
I believe you actually mentioned that for us a while back, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so that's Maxwell. Yeah, it's Maxwell Powers.
Yeah, the reason why that threw me off is because the scene prior to that Pocket Monsters bit was pure silence. It was meant to have the tension there, and then it goes into the goofy music. Pocket Monsters.
Yeah.
That
was so weird. I was kind of like, what the heck? Because I kind of like that threw me off too. That definitely threw me off.
I mean, that's actually his first appearance. Actually, that's his first eye catch since the Biscuit fight. So
yeah. So it just know when Maxwell Power shows up for Pocket Monsters, you know it's gonna be, I think, a good episode.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh man. The scene before showed like the sad Farfetch, then Pocket Monsters. I was like, what the heck?
Dying with
yeah, that was the reaction from us. From last reaction, man. Thank you for having that still there, Donnie. But any final thoughts, Ness?
Anyways, I guess my final thoughts. This is one of the first episodes I enjoyed in a while. So I wasn't expecting like this episode to be like more action packed than I anticipated. So so my rating for this one currently is it's like a 8.5 out of 10.
All right.
There was it's a pretty there's a couple of things I might little flaws and they were like that were made out of like not like completely perfect or something, but then it's like I think they're probably even though there was a bit I did enjoy, but then also I kind of thought it kind of threw off a little bit. But I think that the Grookey scene was probably a little bit like was out of place for me a little bit. I did enjoy it before the when he was going to the Pokemon Center with the Bellsprout, but I did enjoy it, but at the same time I was like that was the only thing I kind of felt a little bit out of place for me.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks for your take on that, Nessa. Now, who here in the call wants to go next? We have Tyrone and TSS, correct? So which out of the two would you like to go?
Tyrone could go first.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm interested to see.
I like
so here it comes because everyone's gonna call me the Simon Cowell of journeys. Okay. So this episode. I'm gonna say right now, it was a good battle. I don't like the episode.
Huh.
That's my take. But
I'm really curious to hear what you have to.
But let me go ahead and go on the good sides first, because obviously I want to give them their fair shakes too.
Yeah.
Ness already mentioned a lot of them. One of the things I like in the battle, and I like when Pokemon battles actually do this thing where they implement various game elements into the battle itself. Having Farfetch learn Detect in its one episode where it trains, and then have it learn, and only to have Gallade use Fent, I like that. I like the fact that the trump card move that Ash learned in a previous training episode isn't the key to winning the battle, because much like everybody else, he's improving, but everybody else is too. So naturally, it would seem fair that a trainer would have something to counteract the move Detect, that being Fent, the move that counters Detect. Fent works regardless if you use to Protect or Detect. So I would like to see that realism of a Pokemon using a move that like knocks out the, oh my god, we just learned a new move that was our key to victory thing. It makes it seem like the power up that Ash got isn't good enough to win him that whole battle. And I like that. Two, the Grookey thing is interesting to me only because I like the idea that a Pokemon is actually consenting for another Pokemon to be captured, which is something you don't really see a lot in Pokemon. It's very interesting to see a Pokemon recommend a trainer catch another Pokemon. I actually wish we would run into more situations where a Pokemon is for or against another Pokemon joining the team, and Go has to deal with those conflicts. But it's Journeys, so this is probably the last time we'll see it. The battle, other than that, I like the back and forth moralities between Go and Rento. You know, questioning whether or not he should judge him and how he can help him get better, but he's saying that he's not a gym leader. But that does raise the question, why are you quick to criticize? So we got a little level of ideals going back and forth, but it's not tackled long enough. Next, I like the appreciation that Ash gives to Go that says, hey, if it weren't for you telling me to come to the Pokemon Center, we wouldn't even be in this situation. So I do like the realism of just taking a trip to the center led to all this. It's a very realistic situation in which you just happen to run into somebody that you know, and thus a battle ensues. All right. So is everybody glad with the praise I gave?
Hold on.
Good.
Before we get
was-
into that,
good.
TSS, can you help bring somebody into the call right now? Because they will also be sharing their opinions soon.
Okay.
Yeah, which will be 1 cent.
Oh, also
All right.
Radiant.
Buddy, we'll get with you soon. Tyrone's still going to continue on with his shenanigans.
Go
So
ahead.
let's get...
Also, okay, so Radiant actually brought up a good point too. Gallade's justifiability was a good thing too. I actually do like that attention to detail, and it does make for Rento to be a viable competitive. Unfortunately, I, unlike you guys, believe this is the last time we'll see Rento because his purpose is practically over. It was to push Farfetch to get stronger. It's one of the reasons why, like, the minute Rento shows up, he's not in the Pokemon World Champions, or it's implied that he was in a different class, and thus he is a better class, conveniently when they meet the second time around. All right, so now that I got all that out the way, is everybody happy with the good points? Good, because
Yeah.
I'm
No.
moving on now.
Let's go.
Keep going.
Yeah, because I'm
Damn.
moving on now. This episode to me feels like an ends to a goddamn means. This episode feels like, oh, Farfetch needs to evolve this episode, and thus this battle must ensue right now. The formula that KG mentioned has happened so often, I don't believe this series has a way to follow another formula. If you all know from the skins, and obviously we're jumping ahead a little bit, Sobble's destined to evolve soon. But remember the detail as to why it's evolving when we read in the scans is that Sobble's been training. No, the fuck it hasn't. It hasn't done a thing since that whole Inteleon episode. Farfetch hasn't done a goddamn thing since the Wilkstrom episode except cut a goddamn net. Like I said, this episode exists conveniently so that Farfetch can evolve in a fucking Surfetch. And then we'll probably never see Surfetch fight again. We're gonna see.
Excuse me, Tyrone. You mean the hiding is the development for Sobble? Or it's hiding in the cupboard or inside the electrical component.
Thanks for proving my point. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for proving my point.
It's got to fit into a 13-episode Netflix block.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks for proving my point. The problem is that Sirfetch's usefulness is all about ended at this point.
Yeah, I could talk shit about this stuff too.
Yeah, and we're moving on to Dracovish now because Dracovish hasn't had his recommended screen time yet. This series does such a weird job of getting so many people excited for shit that other series have been doing off the gate naturally. Why are we congratulating Farfetch's screen time? You know, that thing all Pokemon should be getting. It's like, we always let this shit go. Why? Because it's Journeys and we have to. It's like, I don't believe that this to me is justifiable enough to recommend Farfetch evolving. And then also we got the battle with Rento itself being a 1v1, but they're both in super class. So what determines a 1v1, a 2v2, or a 3v3 in this whole thing? Because the more I look at it, the more the PWC seems fucking off balance and sloppy. Certain battles can be 2v2. Certain battles are 1v1s. Some battles in normal class are 2v2, but some battles in super class are 1v1. Most battles are 2v2 in super class as well too, but some are 1v1. Which ones are fucking 1v1 and 1v2 and 2v2? We don't know. The damn Rotom bot doesn't know. Neither of the trainers know. But because Farfetch needs its recommended screen time and needs to evolve into Sirfetch, it's a 1v1 because those are the only two Pokemon that need the development. And Rento probably doesn't have any other Pokemon because the writers probably forgot to write any other blade-based Pokemon. So it's a lot that people allow to happen, but it was cool, right? That's literally the only thing I'm seeing a lot of people praise this episode for is, oh, that episode was a really cool episode to look at because the battle, oh, great. It's just like, yeah, that's great in hindsight. I ride a roller coaster for shits and giggles, but I'm not going to sit here and go, oh man, remember 23 days ago when that roller coaster happened? Like, it's just sort of like a temporary high. And that's all this episode really is. It's hype because Farfetch'd evolved and it looked kind of cool. But after that, what do you got? You got basically nothing else. You got an empty shell of what happened. Yeah, it was cool how we got here. It's a shame that the steps we took to get here unfortunately required very minimal screen time, very little attention, a personality that we don't even personality that we don't even have the chance to get used to. Farfetch was rebellious of Ash after the Darkest Day shit because of his lack of screen time and lack of battling. He had an attitude of his own, and we only had about 3 episodes to really engage in it. He's evolved into Sirfetch, and his whole personality is gone now. Now he only wants to protect Ash. Okay. Oh, wait. He changed his personality when he did the Wilkstrom episode. Good. That means he had 1 episode to be a dick, 1 episode to be wholesome, and another episode to be humble. Great. What an arc. What a journey we went through with fucking Farfetch.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thanks. What a journey we've gone through with fucking Farfetch and its required episodes needed in order to push the story forward. My thing, and the reason I sound this negative is just because it feels like it's just check marking things off. We did it. We did
you don't have balls. Sorry.
We did the Farfetch thing.
Episodic formula.
Yeah, like the check mark is literally, we did Farfetch thing. We can move on now. Time for Dracovish's required screen time. That's all I really got to say. At its best, this episode gets a 5. This episode gets a 6. At its worst, it gets a 5.
That's the thing.
Dang.
Like,
No, I was gonna say though, like one thing I do miss those, like I kind of miss when all the Pokemon were huddled together and training at the same time, how they did in past series. So that was like probably one things I kind of it's kind of like I get what you're saying, like how it was just so weird that they had to split the Pokemon's time just to get
I'll bring up 2 examples of character growth with Pokemon. One from XY and another one from Best Wishes, so I don't show that I'm just biased on XY. So the XY, when Froakie met Sanpei, and Sanpei had Frogadier, Seems like an evolution episode, right? No, Froakie learns double team. And in the next episode, he meets Sanpei. He evolves in the Frogadier. But that's after a bunch of battles afterwards. So it's justifiable. Here, in the best, and also in Best Wishes, Oshawott had a whole struggle with learning Aqua Jet. So there was a bunch of times where Aqua Jet just sort of failed. And Terrell brought that up, so I was able to use that one. But there was a bunch of times where Aqua Jet just failed, and Ash realized, oh, Aqua Jet's failing because Oshawott doesn't open his eyes when he's underwater. So we got to actually see an arc of him learning how to do that. Here, we get Farfetch is a dick. Farfetch is kind of cool now. Farfetch evolved. Like, what? This is the arc you've decided to do, and this is the arc they do for all the Pokemon, which is a double shame because 2 of his Pokemon are fully evolved, so they don't even get real arcs. Gengar's pissed because it's barely seeable. And Lucario evolved so damn fast, I didn't even get the chance to realize what Riolu's character is. Can anybody seriously remember this thing's like character arc prior to Lucario?
Actually, no, never mind. I thought you said KAMON.
Yeah.
Riolu was a babby. That's it.
And that's it. It was a baby that liked to pick fights with other Pokemon, and that quickly changed after its like debut episode. It's just not enough for me to go, yeah, that's it. That's the character development we're looking for in Journeys. I'm sorry, but like between this, the rushed ranks, Ash making it to rank 184, which you guys somehow let pass, but I'm not gonna. And in the what determines whether it's a 2v2, 1v1, or a 3v3 in battles that are required for the goddamn world championships, all of this is stuff y'all let pass, but I'm not gonna because it's bad writing.
I only let it pass because I stated that I wouldn't get mad at it as long as it's not ultra ranked. So I let it pass.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't do that because it's too much brain power to fucking analyze.
I like using my brain. Thank you very much.
Why are you
I use
using
my
it
brain
on Journeys, though, Tyrone?
Yeah, why are you using it on Journeys? Use it on something worthwhile.
Here's the thing, Tyrone.
Use it on something worthwhile.
I used to hold that belief of like,
Okay,
you know, 1 second.
It's all good, though.
Of like holding Journeys to a different standard because it's Journeys. But now I feel like that's dumb. I'm not gonna criticize an episode any less just because it's in Journeys.
Exactly.
You can't. At least in my opinion, right? This is just what I think. With the whole far-fetched evolving and then winning because he evolved. I'm not willing to let that slide just because it's Journeys. That is bad writing. That's easy. That's a cop out. That's easy out to. I'm gonna let
TSS and Zoro go now because I don't want to eat up too much of the time.
Oh, what's your ranking again, Tyrone? Just to put it here real quick.
Oh, I gave it a 6 at best, 5 at worst. So
Okay.
we're averaging out at 5.5 if give or take.
Gotcha, man. All right, then. So we'll let TSS go with this one, and then
go ahead,
after that, we'll let you go soon after that.
Sure, absolutely. All right. So, first few things. I'm going to mention things that weren't mentioned because I'm the person that does this. Because I actually see, I use my brain to pay attention to this shit because the other shit doesn't fucking really. I don't really give a fuck about it. All right. So first of all, people are getting the Negiga Naito freaking cry wrong. In the closed captions, it says Gyamo, Gyamo. That's number 1. Number 2, Satoshi makes a reference when the leak gets cut because he pauses, but he says Negiga Naito. Now, Naito as a sentence editor means it's necessary to do something. So, or deemed necessary, right? So you have needs to use its leak, and then that's foreshadowing for the evolution. I do like the fact. Now, I'm not going to. Now the thing is though, it's like the Sakuga that everybody is praising is actually made by Takashi Mainami, who's been around since DP. So I mean, I did like the battle animation towards the end. So that's fine. The whole Grookey and the Bellsprout thing, while I can go without it, I think that's only there to enhance Grookey's character. So I see that they're starting the wheels turning with that one. So honestly, like I said, it's first of all, and like I said, I knew the second that I saw the number on the freaking rank at the beginning. First of all, at least they fucking did the reference, the callback that there was actually a fucking tournament. And it's like before that, they didn't even fucking mention it really in a real big way, because you have flashbacks to the fighting, like all of the references to PWC before this, like an intro, were just fucking stills and shit. So I do commend them for actually giving a fuck about some sort of continuity in this fucking series, all things considered. Now, I knew when the 273 came on screen, I knew that certain people wouldn't like that, and hey, it is what it is, whatever, it's plot convenience, yeah. So, when we get to the fight, well, first of all, I did like the way that it did progress through this episode, the fact that, okay, we have KAMON and Scissor get freaking, like, bruised up. It's like, oh, let's go to the Pokemon Center. Okay, fine. So then, by virtue of them going to the Pokemon Center, that's how the fight with Rinto happens. So that's why the whole kind of the bro chemistry between Satoshi and Go really shows. So again, it's little things that you could say what you want about what the hell is about the battle, dude. I just want to fucking watch the episode. Like I grade this shit as single things, because like I said, it's episodic. It deserves to be fucking singled. That's why I'm not thinking about it too much. Like I said, if I had to use the amount of brain power that I usually analyze a lot of other shit, I would have fucking got into a fucking panic attack and anxiety.
One problem I have with that, though, TSS, just one rebuttal I have with that. When you say you only view it as one thing, they're viewing it not as one thing. They're viewing it as three. The episode he was caught, the episode where he's trained, and this. Like
right.
They're viewing it more as one thing. So the reason I'm making a big deal about it is because Journeys is making a big deal out of it, and they're not even.
Terrell, I have not lowered any of my standards. If this episode, if I was actually using all the fucking brain power and overanalyze this shit, I'm giving it a 4. But I'm not. I'm giving it an 8.6 because I actually enjoyed it for the entertainment factor. Like I said, the problem here is that I don't want to waste my brain power on a fucking simplistic series.
I mean, yeah, but I don't also want to dismiss story for entertainment. I mean, yeah. Hand in hand.
I mean, yes, they do. Absolutely. You're right. But the thing is, though, I have to look at it as it's different, right? It's different. That doesn't mean it's not bad. Absolutely not. It fucking sucks. But I'm looking at it, I clean slate every fucking way. Like every fucking time I watch an episode, I clear my head and I watch what's in front of me. Okay? So I can take and I can dissect everything like Tyrone does. But I choose not to. Because I have better things to do in my life. I've been watching this fucking Japanese for 17 years.
That just misses all the work that we've done in other series where we've reviewed it and analyzed it.
Could I actually add something real quickly?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, I did give it a 10, but I also mentioned in my review like how I would have went differently about this. Like, I agree with TSS to some extent. Now, if you look at like the Grookey episode, I gave it a 4.5. I went critical, I went hard on that one. But for this episode specifically, it's just the whole fact of like the episodic way. Say if this was a previous series, I would have had the Wingstrom stuff be an arc where, we had the summer camps and XY, Diamond and Pearl.
Right.
Where that, Ash would go, Rento be there, Farfetch would get developed over a couple episodes. Maybe we could see Rento and Ash battle there and stuff and then battle again here. But the issue is it's not an arc-based series, it's episodic, which is why I kind of had to let it slide. Like I normally don't let Journey slide, so you can agree with that. But this time I actually let it slide just because of, Journeys isn't. I
mean to be fair, and going off of Trey's point, everything since DP ended is different. Like every single series has a different goal. As I mentioned on the deep analysis that I made last week, The anime is kind of like this shifting window of differentness in the last 11 years.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it from a viewpoint of it's within the context of the series itself, not the single series itself, and not to the whole meta series. If you start to do the meta series, first of all, we're almost up to fucking 1,200.
But it's to a point where I believe even get ready, KG, because you're gonna love this. Sun and Moon has a more fucking arc structure.
That's why,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Like
yeah,
in Rock
yeah.
Dusk form had an
Yes.
arc where it
Yep.
didn't want to be dirty,
And that's why so
Ash.
far, I actually
had a
like Sun
better
and Moon
arc.
better. That's why I like Sun and Moon better.
That's right. The comedic episodic series had a better arc to treat Pokemon
Yes.
than the other series that came after it that's supposed to be more structured.
But there is no structure. That's the problem. That's the problem. See, the thing is though, like I said, with fucking 2019, the writers admitted there was no fucking structure. So it's like,
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just my
but
reviewer nature.
also it's not. But also, I will just say this: just because you think I'm lowering my standards doesn't mean it undermines anything that we have done in the last 6 years. Okay.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the thing. I look at that now. Yeah, you can say, "Oh, different standards," but actually, it is. That's why it is, because Pokemon's train left after Diamond and Pearl. Sorry, that's the whole fucking point. The train left after Diamond and Pearl. It's a fucking series that has bit the fucking dust 5 times over. We're never gonna get to the point where we were at fucking DP or AG ever fucking again.
Sad face.
People are getting older. The fucking writers have changed so many fucking times, and the quality and even the quality of music is fucking dipped. Okay, so that's why it is. That's why I'm not looking at it. That's why I'm looking at it from a relative standpoint, as opposed to comparing it to the entire fucking meta series, because the entire fucking meta series has been.
Even after AG and DP, Best Wishes had a better story structure.
Yes.
XY definitely had a better story structure.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not gonna dismiss those. I'm not. Maybe it's just because it's my reviewer's nature. Maybe that's how.
Yes,
But
and that's why it's human nature. It's human nature. That's why I look at things life differently than the next person over. Can we find a common ground? Absolutely. The thing is though, as we've always stated on this podcast for the last 5 years, I respect what you think, and that's why I don't freaking go to you and beat the shit out of you because you don't agree with me. Like
I'm not gonna do all that now. I'm just
Stream.
it's just weird for me to dismiss. It feels like Journeys gets a cushion of forgiveness, and it bugs me.
And
It's
not a fucking excuse. Get your ass on here. You want to talk big. And again, you want to talk big.
Honestly,
You want to
I
do
honestly
that.
think-
But the thing is,
honestly-
it's not a fucking excuse. I gave you both sides of the fucking coin. What else do you fucking want?
Damn. Okay, I just want to add something real quick.
Let Zoro go too. By the way,
I'll pass it on to Zoro soon. I just want to say real quick. I'm gonna update my score ranking. You know what? I'm gonna give this episode a 5 out of 10 right now because I actually gave it very high.
Damn.
So here's my reason though. Here's my explanation for that. I just discovered that Masami Obari, many people might know of this person's name, was originally supposed to be in this episode as an animator. Now, you might be asking yourself, who exactly is Masami Obari? And if you don't know who that is, you need to learn your anime knowledge, because there is a particular pose that I think fans might be familiar with. And I'm going to show it on screen right now. Let this be a sign of what we almost got with Surfetch right here. If you know this pose, you get 100 scores. So Masami Obari was supposed to have been in this episode. But because of his schedule, he was unfortunately too busy to work on this said episode. You understand? We almost got to see this right here with Surfetch. We were freaking robbed. We were robbed of this. We could have seen Surfetch with this pose. That would have instantly negated every single criticism everybody had with this episode. Had this scene been there. Shut up. This would have been completely negated with this right here. With this pose, man. We were so robbed in this episode. You know what? You got a 5 out of 10 now with me. Okay, but for real though, with our buddy here, Ayan, Zoro, I know you want to give in your take soon, so allow me to pass this one on to you, buddy.
I'll hang in the back. I'll hang in the back, man.
Oh, Terrell's here now.
Super Alley 9.
I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk for that long because Tyrone basically kind of got all the points I wanted to talk about. But
go for it.
I'm still recovering from the Farfetch or the Surfetch sword thing that we didn't get. Oh my god. Anyway, first off, Tyrone. It's pronounced Wickstrom and Faint, not Fint. And secondly.
See, I didn't want to correct him on that because I already corrected people on one thing.
Credit where credit's due. I do
spell F-A-I-N-T.
No, it's not. It's F-E-I-N-T.
No, it's Faint.
I mean, yeah.
It's like when someone fainted.
No.
It's a homophone.
Yeah, you can say faint. It's spelled differently, but it's still faint. And also, why do you keep adding an L to Wickstrom?
I don't
because the internet think there's an L in that name.
No, because
don't ask.
I think it's because it's similar to a brand name. I think.
Just let him have it. Just let him talk.
All right. So this episode, this is becoming a recurring pattern. This is becoming a recurring pattern with Pokemon Journeys. But every time I watch an episode, I'm like, all right, this episode's good, and then the day it's following, it just goes downhill, and I start to hate it more and more. And I think that's just because of my deep-seated hatred for the series overall. But I really think this episode was bad. It has a good front, but when you look at it from an analytical point of view, it sucks, man. The battle is not even that good. People are saying it's good. I don't think it's that good. It's too walled for my taste, at least. There's 3 distinct parts, but they don't flow together very well. So there's the first part, where Farfetch is getting his shit kicked in, and then the second part where he has the shield and he gets the 3 crits, and then he evolves and just wins. So, like I said a little bit ago, and like Tyrone and maybe somebody else said, I'm not going to give Journeys a pass just because it's Journeys. That is bad writing. It makes me mad.
A person had to approve it, so yeah, blame that.
I don't know, man. That's just they could have come up with something better. Maybe Farfetch could have gotten the 3 crits and won, and then evolved and the battle was over. I would have liked that much better. Kind of like what they did with Incineroar and the Alola League, which I thought was a good writing choice. But and then obviously since it's not the end of the series, we would actually get to see Farfetch in future episodes. But that was him. And then Rento, at least for me, it seemed like Rento in his first appearance, he seemed more of not a mentor really, but he's more willing to give advice, I guess. And then in this episode, they're just they just make him an asshole. They just make him not want to help at all. That just rubbed me the wrong way.
Honestly, I think it's because it was supposed to be an ominous force that didn't really change the personality too much. I think the thing is though the traits came in for this episode because it was more developed in the last.
It's the B situation. The trainer has to curb stomp Ash, talk shit, and then in the next one they suddenly have more dialogue now, so they're allowed to say more.
Speaking of B, I said this in the chat before I got on the call, but Farfetch's whole thing, aside from him being caught and losing to B in the first time, Farfetch's whole development arc happened and we haven't seen B at all since episode 39. So all the Farfetch stuff just happened
Yeah,
we
wasn't the
haven't
whole
seen B. I
Farfetch
don't-
development
I don't-
supposed to be as a way to combat B at some point?
Yeah, they just forgot about B.
Oh, bad writing. Is that what you guys are talking about? Oh no, it couldn't be. It's fucking Journeys. Get in that bad
No,
writing.
it's not bad writing.
Uh,
It's journeys.
Another
man.
thing with what was the point?
Yeah, but
of
bad
them
writing
showing-
could be entertaining too.
What was the point of them
the
showing
problem.
off?
That's true.
Showing off the Galade's,
True.
Galade's justified ability,
Look
the
at
hero
Osamatsu-san.
Heart of Justice or whatever. it's
I'll wait
called.
until he's finished, and then I'll.
So
There
what
was
about
there was no reason to show that off. They're just gonna have it do nothing and then him lose. That was,
let me get my hands here real quick and make them even
yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
Oh,
They are
I
now
lost.
long. Oh, I'm dead now.
Long.
And then
long.
obviously there's the.
It would be like watching Goku turn Super Saiyan immediately getting shot afterwards.
There's
Didn't
the
that
ranking
happen?
up- There's
No.
the ranking. There's the ranking up off screen, which while it wasn't as bad as him ranking up like 400 or 500 ranks at the beginning of the Farfetch'd episode off screen, or the first Farfetch'd episode, the one where he fought Girder. I mean, it's still dumb. Like we could have seen those. We could have seen that. We could have seen him rank up there. I don't know. To me, I guess like it's not that bad, but ranking up like significant portions, like up a class, for example, off screen when he came back to say B and he was like, I'm back in the normal class or the super class, or he ranked up 500 ranks off screen. That to me is equivalent to them skipping a gym battle or a trial and in another series. That's dumb. And another thing about the episode, the music choice. Like I like Journey's soundtrack. Journeys has a good soundtrack. I have the CD and I listen to it every so often. I like the soundtrack, but I like the songs, but they didn't use the songs in the right spots for me in this episode. It just felt weird. So yeah, that's my spiel with this episode.
All right, man. All right, so after a while now, we finally got him to show up because of a certain situation going
Yeah.
on.
My rating.
Yeah, give us your rating, buddy.
yeah. It was like a 6 or 7, but now it's like a 5. Maybe.
I'm telling you, man, that old body pose, we almost had it. That shot it down from a 10 to a 5 for me, man.
Yep.
Damn.
For real.
I'm sad by this, man. Shit like this makes me sad when I learn we almost got the giant ass leak sword scene, and it would have been
Could
would
have
have
been
negated everybody's problem in just the
Call it.
span of a
Maybe he'll
second.
show up for the next time around. Never know.
Well, if a body shows up,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right, man. So,
that seems like a good thing to happen.
Terrell, first of all, welcome aboard, buddy.
Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome
Good
Yeah.
aboard.
Now, obviously,
Welcome aboard,
this is
Captain.
very interesting because this is one of those rare instances where I believe we've actually had a true divisiveness with a single episode. Because I think it's a rare instance.
No, Karina's.
No,
one.
we've had
No, I
device
mean with
Karina's-
guests as well. I should state.
And I think reboots to a lesser extent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that was to a lesser. Yeah, but,
Yeah. Now we have
Karina-
like what almost 8 people here, and
So-
but I'll
I
pass
mean-
this one on to you, buddy.
So, all right. So here's the thing. I think I came up with this in my review, and I got a couple of and I think Paulie put it in there, and I think I'm going to run with it. Journeys has 3 T's. The way Journeys handles its Pokemon development is trouble, training, and triumph. That's the 3 ways it does it. It's some shit happens.
That's good.
And sometimes they'll combine the shit depending on the episode or the Pokemon. But usually some shit happens, and I'm excluding the catching episode for a reason because that has to happen regardless. No matter what series it is, it has to happen.
Yeah.
So the trouble would be the Girder and Rinto episode for Farfetch. The training is the Wilkstrom episode, and then the triumph is I hate that. I don't give a fuck about X and Y's Elite Four, so I don't remember his name. I'll be real with you. And then the triumph being Surfetch. So I kept saying that TSS is making excuses when I want to explain myself, and it'll go into the review. I think initially my review, I think KG, I remember you saying a while back that Journeys is one of those shows that the episodes are fine out of context. Once you put them in context, they fucking suck.
Yeah, episodes individually do fine on their own. When you try to put a narrative into it.
Yeah. So I think this episode is a perfect example of that. I think when I watched this episode initially, I was like, all right, cool. It's a fine episode. It has some nice moments in it with the Go and Ash correlation in the beginning. Where like, oh, if it wasn't for you saying we need to go to the Pokemon Center, we wouldn't have ran into Rento. I like that kind of shit. Even the Grookey stuff in the beginning at least has him doing something, right? All those little things are cool. There are things. This episode by itself is fine.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have the context of this of what came before it and Farfetch's journey before it, this episode is perfectly fine. The reason why this episode becomes absolute annoying as fuck because it's another episode that proves that same 3 T's method where you give me 3 episodes at most versus and Taran already used my examples with best wishes and stuff. Hell, even Sandal and Best Wishes had a more interesting setup because he didn't catch that thing until it evolved, even though it was in episodes consistently up until its evolution. And then even when it evolved, we still got it for different developments in its shades thing and all that other stuff. Like it still had its episodes plus the ones it got before he even caught it / evolved. Here it's like, bro, I caught him on. It needs to fuck up, and then we need to do a train. Even Lucario's thing isn't overly interesting. It's Riolu kind of the most interesting. That Riolu situation is a combination of them combining its catching with its trouble with the whole aura thing, which is kind of dropped after a certain point. The reason why I said TSS you were making excuses is because you and Nessa are right for what you said earlier. That like even poor writing can be entertaining. There are plenty of shows that are inherently bad that are still entertaining to watch. What irks me though is that it comes off in the reviews as if you're giving Journeys a pass.
I'm not
terrible writing. Let me finish.
I'm not though.
What I'm saying is that when you compare it to the series right before this, which was Sun and Moon, which you've openly stated you dislike for multiple different reasons. And then we come to Journeys, and then we get this weird, like, half score thing. It's like, oh, I kind of gave up on the writers being competent, therefore I don't really judge them on the same tier anymore. So when you tell Tyrone, oh, I don't waste my brain power on that shit because I'm enjoying the episode. I'm like, but you did that, you did that like a fucking region ago. What makes Journey so fucking special all of a sudden that it's like, yo, I have no faith in these writers. This show is just some bullshit. So I'm gonna judge it just off of entertainment value. The problem is we have more entertaining episodes in other regions. I don't believe that bullshit about the reboot and every series has been a downhill. I may have my issues with X and Y, and I really have no interest in watching Sun and Moon. But those regions at least seem to have consistent narratives in some way, shape, or form.
I agree with that.
Journeys doesn't have that in any shape or form.
And
these characters flip emotions and feelings depending on the episode. Koharu has a good string of episodes, but was irrelevant for like a good 30 fucking episodes, barring like 2 or 3 episodes.
You're right.
Go's consistency as a character fluctuates depending on what fucking episode he's in. Sometimes he's nervous and scared of himself.
30,
and it frustrates me when I hear this shit about, well, you know, Journeys doesn't have good writing. That doesn't give you a fucking pass to be dog shit. Like if you have bad writing, you don't get excused from having terrible writing just because my standards have lowered because I know what we're dealing with in terms of the caliber of writers. That means you have a bad fucking show.
Well, and to just go on top of that too is like
so basically I should retire now.
No one's saying that.
No one's saying retire.
We're saying like, okay,
I have to retire now because apparently I'm no good anymore.
No, what?
Whoa,
no,
what?
No,
Where did that come from?
We're not saying that.
No, because you just shit on my whole logic, which means that I'm not fucking worth anything.
Whoa,
what?
no,
dude.
A difference in opinion.
Yeah, but the thing is though, the way that you said it right now came across as legitimately condescending.
No, what?
To you? But I'm just saying, dude.
No, I'm not gonna say that feels condescending.
But I'm just gonna say, legitimately, you know, I'm not gonna stop. So continue. I'll say my piece at the end.
All I'm saying is that it comes off contradictory. That's what I was saying. That was
It's
the core of
contradictory,
my
yeah, but
from where you were, where the way you reviewed Sun and Moon versus the way you reviewed Journeys.
Yeah,
that was all I was. That was the core of my argument. Is that if you were like this in Sun and Moon, I wouldn't have given a shit because I'm like, okay, this is just consistent to what he is. He's just enjoying the show for what it is. But you analyzed the fuck out of Sun and Moon and went in on that series. So why the fuck is it all of a sudden we hit Journeys and now there's a goddamn shift?
Because to be honest, I'll say it right now. Like I said, I had problems with Sun and Moon with 2 episodes. I had a problem with SM79, which legitimately freaking gave me anxiety, and the other one is SM57, which is a Drampa one. The problem is I'm trying not to overthink my brain so I don't get this anxiety problem anymore. Because if I overthink about a lot of these things, like if I had to overthink about the Grookey one, I would be in probably like anxiety for fucking 12 hours.
That would argue that the show's not worth watching then at that point.
At that point.
My thing is, because one of the things I liked about our talks of this series is that we do dig deep.
Yes, I know, because my brain doesn't work at 12 o'clock.
One of the things I like is that we do dig deep. Even if our opinions differ, they always differ with some level of logic behind them. They're never just, oh, it's bad, or oh, it's good because fuck you, it's good, or fuck you, it's bad. There's always some level of logic. So I don't even think that Terrell's dismissing what you said. I think that one of the problems is that to say my issue isn't with what TSS said at all. My issue has never been with what TSS said about the demographic, about the child demographic. About
I don't care about any of that shit.
Yeah, he's brought up a good point, and I actually like that point because it gives some logical reason as to what may have changed. My thing is that I am basing it off of the narratives that I have seen before in other series, talking about a series that has been going for 20 plus years that has proven that it can tell stories. Saying that, oh, it's episodic is weird for me because they used a formula that isn't episodic. The Pokemon World Championships is a tournament that's based on rank, which means Ash has to climb his way to the top. We, as an audience member, have to see him do that. And it sucks that he's at 901 episode, 200 the next episode. His Pokemon barely get any development. His Pokemon get the required episodes they need to get their level of evolution or new move, and then we move the fuck on. They barely get any screen time. 3 Pokemon are literally acting out because they have no screen time. Pikachu threw a bitch fit because Riolu was getting more screen time. This is the worst pacing I've ever seen in my goddamn life, and I'm just not going to give it a pass because it's another series, because other series have been in this situation before.
Other animes do better.
And also, and just to put this in context, because I know the whole quick journeys thing is a little bit in the chat. I've already said in my reviews multiple times, if you guys watch my reviews, you know, I said I'm waiting until we get to Gary and Iris. I said if they fuck up Gary and Iris, I'm just not gonna watch it. I'm just not. I have grown past that mentality that I've been with the series for so long I have to watch every episode of the series. If I don't like the fucking season, I'm not gonna watch the fucking season. That's why I think I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Sun and Moon and said I'm good. But I don't talk shit. But I also don't go out of my way to talk shit about Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
I only kind of talk shit about X and Y because I invested 70 fucking episodes, 70 to 80 episodes in X and Y, so I at least have some right to say some things about X and Y. Usually I talk about the beginning. I don't usually talk about the latter half because I haven't seen the latter half. My whole overarching point is that because the thing is that for some reason Journey's not even just in regards to TSS. I mean, in general, Journey seems to get a pass for
a lot of people. Yeah, of course. A lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was specifically targeting TSS. It's just that TSS is the main one here making that argument. And if you enjoy Journeys, I'm not taking it away from you as a viewer.
Oh, absolutely not.
But my point is this: that doesn't mean it's not going to get critiqued. That means I'm not going to sit here.
I critique Elton John and Queen fucking live gigs all the fucking time.
Well, but my overarching issue is that Journeys has bad writing, and people get mad when you acknowledge that it has bad writing. If you enjoy it, even with its flaws, cool, but it doesn't make it any less flawed. So it doesn't. So when me and TSS go back and forth, and I say he's making excuses, the base of that argument was literally because I came from when I met TSS, I think y'all were doing Sun and Moon, if I remember correctly. Y'all were doing
you
the
were
Sun.
probably just getting out of X and Y doing Sun and Moon.
Yeah, y'all were doing Sun and Moon, and I remember a good chunk of those pods where TSS was very openly annoyed with Sun and Moon in the direction it took, with multiple different issues that kind of depended on the episode. And he already brought up 2 of the examples he mentioned. Like, so when I come out of that, and that's what I know TSS for, we shut the Journeys, and it felt like in Journeys, we all of a sudden, and maybe that was me not understanding that that's where TSS was coming from, but like, to me, it just seemed like a weird change of character, and it comes off hypocritical when I'm like, but you roasted the fuck out of Sun and Moon. What the hell?
Because, and I will also say this, not to defend that point, but I will say, coming off of Sun and Moon, I can understand that it probably has some effect on your visuals of Journeys, because Journeys tried to do the thing where, like, instead of being overly comedic like Sun and Moon, it tried to be a balance. It tried to be more battle heavy like X and Y before Sun and Moon, but it tried to be less comedic like Sun and Moon was, and have a little bit of both in and of itself. The problem is that it just didn't wind up doing either right towards the end. They actually wound up doing better with the world champions because they had Ash fight like normal trainers while Go was catching a Pokemon or something. It felt like a natural growth of his rank when we saw it. Here, every time we see him go or rank up, it always feels like oh shit, that tournament's still happening thing.
And I'm just saying, with all the anime that comes out seasonally, realistically, I don't need to invest all this time into this shit if it's going to continue in this pathway. What I'll do is what I did with Sun and Moon. I'll just dip the fuck out. Journeys, I feel like a lot of people want it just because Sun and Moon ended, and Sun and Moon was not the series a lot of the Pokemon fandom wanted. Journeys, like it or not, is a little bit closer to what people want out of a Pokemon series than Sun and Moon is. That doesn't take anything away from
in the direction, because the problem is they even admitted that they fucking put Koharu back behind because they had to fucking develop this shit. So I have a feeling that they never had a plan from day one.
Well, I don't really give a fuck what the excuse is, because what I care about is the end product. The episode that you put on Japanese television that eventually gets dubbed and put out over here in the States, and I think Netflix is the current form we're getting it, and potentially DVDs later on. Like that, I give a fuck about the product. I don't really give. As a consumer, I'm not required to give a fuck about what happens in Japanese boardrooms and on the fucking cutting room floor and shit when you're animating and writing out these scripts. I don't have to give a flying fuck about that. I do because I'm just nerdy about the series. I'm not required to. If I look at your end product, it's like, fuck this shit. Because people have seen better in the same series not even a couple years ago. Hell, Journeys has episodes that can compare to itself that are better handled than some of the later episodes. So it's like, what the fuck? You're not even consistent in your own series.
Well, even that. I mean, also the Western product is even more shittier than the Western product was.
Well, you say that, but like,
not in the voice. The voice acting has improved, but the music went.
Yeah, but think about it. That's in the context of people who watch Pokemon in Japanese. I mean, yeah. But remember, the reason why we enjoyed the earlier seasons wasn't because we got to hear the original Japanese score half the time. We just fucking liked the series. We liked the dub. The dub is still a gateway for people. So like,
it's a gateway.
It may be flawed, and it damn sure is flawed. But if you aren't interested, it's the same reason why people watch dubs over subs. People don't really give a fuck about some of the changes if the product that they get is good, which is what a lot of old school dubbed anime was.
The music does have an impact. Like if you go and watch.
Well, yeah, but
I'll give you a good example.
Well, I'm not taking away that point. I'm saying some people don't want to watch things in Japanese. So if they don't watch it in Japanese, they don't know about the Japanese score. Yeah. Unless they can't miss something they never heard.
The funny thing is, I still come back to this. In the dub with freaking Lance versus Leon, they use like 3 piece of shit fucking music tracks. But then in the fucking Leon versus Raihan fight, they use the fucking gym theme, and it's like, where the fuck was this 20 episodes ago?
Look at the Darkest Day finale. They used a lot of the original.
They kept almost 50% of it.
Yeah, they did. I saw the dub of Darkest Day too. I was like surprised. I was like, that.
Mostly like I stopped watching the dub probably, or I glimpsed the dub, but I will never like sit down and watch the dub straight on anymore. So like for me, that shit doesn't really matter. My point is just saying that for a child who doesn't go online and look at the Japanese episodes and just watches it when it comes on Netflix, they can't miss those things. A child, an adult, or a teen, they can't miss those things. They don't actively look up. That's why people only watch certain animes in English. That's the reason why you have companies like Funimation and Viz that still get business, because people rather get it in English. So like,
well, plus people
for them, they don't. It doesn't matter. That's all I'm saying. It's the. But yeah, my core thing is that as an episode by itself, it's fine. I have really no issues with it. I think it's probably one of the better episodes if I don't look at it in the context of Journeys. If I look at it in the context of Journeys, it's just another example of the problems Journeys has as a whole, which is why when I reviewed it, I looked at it more as like kind of how KG looked at it, a standalone episode. Because if you don't, the show fucking. I'm serious.
The show sucks when you try to put a story. Yeah, that's why. Listen, this is what I want to counter against that, because I feel like me and TSS are under the same mindset where it's like, we're doing this because the series is intending for us to view it as is as well. They're going for the episodic route, and we're just viewing it and reviewing it for episodically. But at the same time, if there will come a point where we need to start splitting it up and trying to fit the narrative into it, we will address it too. For this one, though, I think on its own rights, I think the Surfetched episode was great.
Yeah.
And that's the solo review. When I get into the Journeys review, though, that's when I decide to start throwing a tantrum on it. And the last thing I want to do.
But here's the problem, and I'll let Tyrone speak. Here's the problem. Journeys is trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's obviously doing. That's the issue. If it wants to be episodic, be episodic. That's not what it's doing, because Pokemon can't be episodic in the narrative it wants to have.
This
region could have. This region could have if they didn't acknowledge tournaments. If they ignored the Leon tournament shit and just did episodic episodes, it would have worked.
It would have been fine. It would have turned into another. It would turn into basically modern day Chronicles.
Yeah, the tournament gave Journey structure, but in turn meant that certain episodes had to carry over and tie in together, which then created somewhat of a narrative, which is what we're judging about being fucking dog shit. That's what I'm like. If you want to be episodic, do episodic, but you're not doing episodic.
But commit to it, I guess.
You're not committing to being episodic. You're trying to do narratives.
Which
the
is
Darkest
funny
Day.
because at this point, I still don't know what the hell Journeys wants to be. I swear they're trying to be something, but it's like nobody can find that pinpoint for this.
And here's my biggest thing too. It's like, episodic. But I don't know if you guys caught it, the big dangling fruit that this show always puts over people's heads, which draws everybody back to bringing back people from the older series. But if you want to have any fucking context of who these characters are, guess what you gotta do? You gotta watch the fucking series. You gotta watch all those episodes. Who the fuck is Karina? Well, the only way you're gonna know that is if you watch X and Y. Who the fuck is Chuck? You gotta watch the Johto episodes. Who the fuck is Bisky talking about? Lieutenant Surge. Well, you gotta watch the OG series to know who that is. It dangles this fruit on us every time, and everybody goes, "Ooh, this character's coming back. Oh, the Alola gang's coming back." Well, don't you think that all of these people, in order to have any reference of what this is, has to watch, a story. Multiple stories.
Oh, yeah, Radiant says the best. Sick JPEG flashback.
No, you can't.
Also, just to give a quick reference to kind of, for those who may not be used to this, remember how Best Wishes in the beginning pretty much didn't acknowledge any canon of the previous series at all?
Until
then until the fan backlash got bad, and then they decided to start adding in all the canon again. Mm-hmm. It's essentially that, but worse, because at least for the most part, Best Wishes has a little continuity bullshit in it, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent and relevant to like what we had already seen in other regions before. This is worse than that. Like, you'll see characters that show up in an episode and not realize. And if you're not someone who follows the Pokemon anime, you're like, who the fuck is that? Or if you play the games, why the fuck is Karina in this generation? Isn't this the Gen 8 generation anime or whatever the fuck? Like, or Chuck. Or as we'll see later, fucking Gary or Iris. It's like, what are you doing here?
But that's the show's selling point is, hey, we got characters you remember.
Well, that's not
Don't
the
you wanna
selling
see
point.
him again? Yes, it the fuck is.
It's not the
Look at
selling
Twitter.
point.
Look at Twitter. Look at how many people are all like, I can't wait till the fucking Alola gang comes back. Ooh, I can't wait till Iris comes back. Ooh, I can't wait till Gary comes back.
I just want more
Well,
South
Iris
American.
thing-
What I want is
all these
I want
people.
more South American Go memes. Go.
You don't hear all the people who blew up on Twitter the minute they saw Iris and Gary's fucking faces?
No, you mean Gary, and then they just go, oh, by the way, Iris is also here.
Yeah, but,
Yours are Gary.
but it's driven off of nostalgia. So if it's driven off of nostalgia, but it also wants to be an episodic series that has no references to the past, how the fuck are you going to have a series that has no references to the
Well,
past?
like
It
I
has
said,
references to the past.
the reason why I said it's a worse version of Best Wishes, that Best Wishes at least went an entire season without addressing it. Journeys didn't even get through its first season without
And
being
X
like,
and Y didn't do it at all because it didn't need it.
well, no,
It
X and
wasn't
Y,
necessary towards its story.
tried to committed to its idea.
It told the Callow story, the one it wanted to tell.
Yeah, it committed to its original plan. That's the difference. Best Wishes, but X and Y also didn't get the backlash Best Wishes got. Best Wishes got a lot of backlash for different reasons, whether it was the Team Rocket.
Specifically Rocket, really.
Rocket,
Yeah, the team-
it was 90% Rocket, 10% everything else.
Yeah. So they ended up changing a lot of stuff, and then they wanted to switch up stuff for the second season. Also, at least Best Wishes games made sense because Black and White 2 had a world tournament that correlated with, oh, here's a bunch of old trainers. Gen 8 literally is just kind of like, well,
It's not even Gen 8.
I'm only calling it Gen 8. I'm calling it Gen 8 because Gen 8 Pokemon are in it. Not really.
I feel
And
so bad for
It was made
Galar.
during the 8th generation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's during the 8th generation, and it has 8th generation Pokemon and characters on it.
Go ahead, Nessa.
I want to say though, like the whole like Pokemon World Championship, I feel like it's gonna end maybe less than 100 episodes at this rate.
I don't even care.
Yeah, we're already in the top 200 now. So
Can you remember all the great times we had in this tournament?
No, because it's like jumping like all over the place. So it's like I feel like it's gonna. It seems like maybe like I don't know, Iris or Gary might be maybe that top 8 or I don't know what the hell.
Well, the thing is though, is also the problem is the World Championship ranking is flawed if people lose around you, you gain ranks.
Because I kind of how like we addressed earlier about Rentals, like he was in the normal class and he's now in the super class, the same as
Right.
Ash. And then I was like, wow. I was like, Ash I would think I'm guessing Rentals obviously way lower than Ash because if he barely got into maybe a normal to super, maybe in the 900, 800s, and then I was like, imagine if Ash lost to him, he probably would have gone down significantly, and then Rentals would have gone up. So
Correct.
it's like. So that was like, I was like, that's still a big jump from what he get. I would have thinking he maybe jumped maybe 50 or not even that much, considering how much lower he is in. But it's just like, the ranking system does not make no sense.
Well, yeah, because the inherent problem is people don't look at it. It's like, no, when you beat somebody, other people have to lose in order for the rank to change. So your rank goes down and you don't even do shit. That's the thing.
No, that's exactly
That's
it.
the problem.
it's gonna go down only for it to go back up. Screenland.
Well, no, that's it. The whole point is that the way they wrote it was a way that allowed them to kind of flip Ash's rank whenever the plot, quote unquote, needed it. So if I only wanted Ash to be relevant, if I want Ash to go through a slump, I'll take that B loss and exaggerate it and make him lose multiple times and be like, oh, it's because he lost the B and he's in a slump. Which is stupid because once again, it's not really consistent with Ash as a character. But we gave up on that shit a while ago.
His journey ended in SNM. This point is just filler arc.
And then, what makes me mad is that Ash started off as like a cool elder type character to me, and I fucking loved that shit. Now it's just turned into him being a neglectful dickhead.
Now it's him being elder then. Just
He morphed himself into that. Yeah,
it's him. He's being the worst part of elder.
Yeah, basically.
I read somewhere recently saying that actually Ash is actually has less focus episodes. Now Go's the one that has the most.
But Go's episodes are inconsistent, so it doesn't mean anything.
No, I know, but I'm saying no. But it's kind of like I'm wondering if people feeling that because it's just like Ash just kind
Oh
of.
no, a lot of people like Go, so they're definitely feeling it. It's just the problem is it's just not consistent. Go. People would call Go's changes a character development. The problem is it'll fluctuate in between episodes. He's sometimes super fucking confident, and he's on his shit, but he usually like the Flygon episode. But that was primarily because Ash had to take a back seat because he was quote unquote depressed. Then you get episodes where he's an absolute dickhead, like which I would call the reboot episode. And then all of a sudden he can take down he can borderline fight a Zapdos all of a sudden, and then catch a fucking Suicune. Go's concept sucks, and it only sucks because they wanted to emulate Let's Go instead of emulating normal Pokemon anime. If you had him have to train and improve his mons and teams to catch certain Pokemon, it would have been cool. Actually, the Suicune thing could have been a cool 6-on-1 battle where he took the mons he had already caught and raised them, and then had them go all out against Suicune. Instead, no, he just catches them. So like it takes away the level of excitement and interest of an episode when Go is a pancake flipping in the air of whether or not he's gonna land to be a dumbass or really fucking competent. It just so happens in the Farfetch one, he's pretty fucking good.
It's not even a coin flip. It's whether or not Ash is available. If Ash is available, then he's weak. If he's not available, he's strong.
Not true anymore.
That's an issue in the beginning. I don't think it's as relevant in the latter half.
Yeah, notice how Ash hasn't really had those weird ass situations like he had.
They've had him on some, like, in the early part of the series, he was on some outer shit. He was like teaching Go lessons and shit. Now it's more so Go just has episodes where he's all right, he's fine in.
Or Ash gets in a situation where he gets stuck in a hole, and then that's it.
Is he available or is he not? Like, even to this day, I still feel like Ghost shouldn't be anywhere near Ash, like in terms of prowess.
Well, he has no reason to be, because all your goal is catching Pokemon in a region that doesn't give in a storyline that doesn't give a fuck about battling the catch. This is a series that you can literally throw a ball and catch anything, even a goddamn legendary. So your skill
in this recent episode.
So your skill means nothing in this region, which is stupid because any other region he'd be fine. It's literally just because of this. I need to follow the Let's Go mechanic, and you hold yourself.
The problem is it's the series is trying to do too much shit into the game lore, and that's
no, it's not. That's the problem.
Actually, somebody brought up this point earlier before that I thought it'd be kind of interesting to say. Marnock says here, KG, I think Journeys is trying to appease to everyone that, while in execution, actually ends up pleasing nobody in the end. It has ambition packages to unload 20 years of past episodes that could connect to Journeys continuities. However, it's falling all over the place that rubs everyone the wrong way for everyone.
And that was
the thing is, Journeys isn't even doing a lot. The most complicated thing it's doing is the goddamn tournament, which it doesn't even address half of the time. The hardest thing it's doing is that stupid fucking tournament. Everything else is standard Pokemon region shit. You got a couple companions with you. They got Pokemon. Ash got Pokemon. That's it. Everything else is filler character of the day nonsense. And if it's not that, it's either a development for a character / Pokemon or tournament related shit. It's not doing a lot at all. That's what makes me mad about it. You're not doing a lot. So what the fuck what are you struggling with? that's the core of my issue. Because Koharu Go, that would be Silent and Iris, that would be Serena Clement / Bonnie, that would be May, Max, and Brock, that would be Dawn and Brock. That shouldn't be hard for you to get those characters consistent. That shouldn't be hard. And then you got the tournament thing, which you could easily swap out for gym badges because they're just tournament fights. I think the beginning of Journeys is actually low key better than the latter half.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They had a great stride with the Lance and Leon fight.
The Dragonite capture.
They were doing good.
But the irony is that I had issues then. That was the kicker. Like I still had issues then.
The whole episode's still stupid.
Journeys lost it after episode 25, after Ash and Karina battle. That's when they lost it.
I agree with that because
that was the time we all stayed up. At least me, Jesus, and Tyrone.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah, so listen,
That was the
listen.
moment
that's
when I
one of the
realized
first-
I ain't staying up for this shit no more.
I think that was the first decisive war we've had on this series. Actually, was that?
Yeah.
No,
For real.
my issue was the. I know me and
Oh,
TSS went at it
reboot.
reboot stuff.
No.
But that was the
reboot
first. That was the first. No, it was.
Oh.
No, it was
Honestly, with the
stuff.
reboot for me,
The reboot was earlier. It was
Oh,
like
yeah,
19.
yeah,
It's
you're right,
19.
you're
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 19.
Yeah.
You're right.
Honestly, with the, yeah,
The Karina
Okay.
thing was the first time Tyrone and TSS went at it.
Yes. All right. You're right.
Yes.
That was the reason you two. went at
So
it.
more so just to you know not let people, because we already been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm.
Somehow we stayed with almost 70
moral of the
viewers. Thank you,
story.
guys.
Moral of the story, folks. Read the manga. Next. Goodbye.
Oh, absolutely. Not.
No, actually, the manga I would recommend out. Too.
The manga. Read the manga because it's a better storytelling than, because you don't have to fucking you don't have to sit through 15 minutes of filler. You just get right
I
to
just
the
don't
fucking
like.
shit and go.
I just don't like lowering my standards. That's all. That's
Yeah, I
I
can
have
agree with
I have always been
that. Yeah,
very passionate about my reviews.
That's
and
why-
it's hard for me to do that. It's
That's
hard
the-
for me to just give something a pass.
that's
I can't.
that's the reason why I said that if you fuck up Gary and Iris, that's it for me. I'm done. If you burn a bridge with one of my favorite well, Gary's just iconic, and Iris is one of my favorite characters in general. You burn those bridges, Gary. That should be it for most people. But for me,
I'm actually
you
in the
fuck up
same
Iris,
boat
that's gonna drive me nuts.
I'm actually in the same boat as you, Terrell, to be honest, too. I'm that same that line as well. So
I think a lot of us are, because even
Yeah.
I addressed it myself that with the
well, no,
PokePod,
well,
I
Gage,
even
you
said
can't-
if the Iris and Gary episode messed up, I'm just done. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna bother. We're gonna figure something else.
And I'm
for
gonna be the
second
only
hour.
one left.
Yeah, you will, and it'll drive you insane.
yeah. I'm not.
'Cause this series
like I
is
said,
driving me insane.
Listen. I was a Bleach fan. I'm a Naruto fan. I have been through my share of series that were not worth watching or going through the whole thing. I'm not doing it with Pokemon. Pokemon only gets this much because of its legacy, not because because it's above it. No, you fuck up there, that's it. I'm done. We ain't doing this no more. Fuck you. I'm not having it. I didn't watch. I didn't finish X and Y.
Just let Iwane do his fucking special fucking anime, and then
we
put
have
everybody to bed.
to. I want to. It makes me sad when the animator knows more about what the anime wants to be rather than the people actually writing
Yeah.
the show.
They should
Well,
just
that's
give
not
Iwata-
the-
they should
that's
give
not
Iwata
surprising.
the-
It makes
They
me
should just get-
sad though to see that.
Yeah. They should just get him the man. Like get the man what he deserved. Let him.
Also,
run the
Donnie,
series.
don't bully me.
Release the Iwane cut, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
But yeah, so overall, ladies and gents, that was our shenanigans for tonight. I didn't expect things to go the way it did, but hey, sometimes surprises can often be a good thing. I don't know if that applies to this situation, but it had happened, so there you go.
Well, this is like the fucking 6th time that it happens, and I need to fucking stop.
Moral of the story: Pokemon Journeys is cringe.
Exactly, man.
No, we don't.
You're-
We don't use that word in this house.
I thought that was the S
Pokemon
word.
Journeys is not a good show. Sorry.
No, we just say. I'm not gonna say.
I
that.
processed down word for. Nah,
I
don't
will
be worried
refrain
about the
from
Pokemon.
saying
I had
Don't
another
worry.
word. I had another word, but I felt like maybe this one.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for disavowing the sacred rules of the PokePod by saying the C word.
Let me take your
Let
Pokemon
her rip.
privileges
No.
now.
As you piss on your jeans, let's see what it is.
Apple bottom jeans.
Kevin.
But once
Are
again,
you- Kevin, let me ask you a
I
question.
want to.
Are you attracted to women or animals? That's the first thing I need to understand.
What?
You just said
Casey, you don't have to answer that question.
yes. The fucking question.
Horses versus dragons.
We already,
Interrogation starts
Tyrone,
today.
we already learned your
we
answer.
already put me down.
I've
there. You don't have
converted
to
him.
answer that
It
question.
begins.
Oh no! All you guys listen.
I will convert
Define-
all of you
listen.
into fans of horses eventually.
Okay, listen. To find out Tyrone's answer, you just go on his Twitter and look at his likes. That's the way you find out.
Hold on, let me go take a look.
Yeah, actually,
At the end of the day,
Tyrone
folks,
threw me off the one night because I scrolled through the Twitter. I'm like, what is this from? Tyrone the guy 3 like. I was like, oh, it's one of those nights. Sorry, Gigi.
One of those.
I've had one of those nights. I'm not. There's no disrespect. I was just like, oh, okay, bet. All right, I know what's up.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, as long as you. we don't have to bring it up in full context. Just understand. It's just sometimes you just have one of them nights. Fuck it, ain't a big deal. Shit.
Okay.
Go ahead, KG. End it.
All right. Well,
before you go end it, I just want to say once again, because I have to fucking say this disclaimer every fucking time that we do this. We all mutually respect each other's opinions. It's just that people like seeing me going from 0 to 100. Thank you. Good night.
I was generally concerned for you because you seem kind of.
yeah, but I think that let that show you the power of journeys. The power of journeys.
Journeys is
I did say.
All right. We can talk about this crap after the stream.
Yeah, let's end it.
Okay, comment says, what about the preview? What about the preview? I don't care about that preview. That preview didn't
Close the goddamn. Just cut off the
with that being said, let's wrap things up. With that being said, ladies and gents,
2 weeks no anime. 2 weeks no anime.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing random shit next week.
Actually, no, that's what I was gonna wrap things up on. So this is how things are gonna go down for the next 2 weeks, because we did this last time when the Pokemon anime was on hiatus before last year. We're gonna be doing it again around the same time this year. So last time we did the anime opening rankings. This time, starting next week, we will be doing the anime ending rankings. It's going to be separated into two parts.
Polly's gonna be so happy.
No, she's not allowed in this one, so that sucks.
You know why? Yeah, I know why.
Oh no! Remember, she said she was doing her own.
Yeah,
it would be disrespectful for her to share her opinions here.
Why else surprised?
No, it's funny. It's just funny because she's the one that brought it up more.
It's fun to react to that.
Yeah, exactly. So but what happened when she set something up and she didn't pay attention to what was going to happen?
Well, no. She did. Actually, she did that earlier today anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Well, whoops.
I can't wait to see y'all's I can't wait to see y'all's rankings of the English dub endings.
No. It had endings.
I see what he did there. I see what he did there.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
Tier 1, yeah, Pokemon Master.
But yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed tonight's session. Next week, as stated before, we will be doing the anime ending rankings. It's going to be divided into two parts. It's going to be the pre-reboot and post-reboot era, similar to how we did the openings. So we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. And we hope you guys will be joining in for that shenanigan, as we're going to see if we can actually listen to all of it, which, by the way, you can, because it turns out that the Antipoke PR Twitter account is actually posting the ending songs there. So now there's really no excuse for anybody to not go out of their way to listen to the ending songs at this moment. So make sure to go and check that out while you're at it, as we get ourselves prepared for the ending songs. And I will be making a tier maker list sometime later in the week, so we can use this as a bit of a prep to kind of get us ready for the shenanigans that's going to go down during that day. So once again, we hope you guys enjoyed today's review / reaction / whatever the hell we did tonight in this PokePod World podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to follow us here on Twitch, and make sure to follow us on our respective Twitters, which you should find in the description down below. I want to give a massive thanks to our buddies here, to Trayman1 and to Ionic Bond, for both joining in for tonight. Thank you guys so much for hopping in to share your take on the episode.
Trayman1 _ Alola on Twitter, and at shiniest ZoroArk2K.
No. I just changed I just completely rebranded today. My new name on the internet is Ionic Bond.
Even on Twitter as well.
On Twitter.
AYAANIC Bond.
Oh yeah, it is changed. Okay, yeah, okay. So similar to
we still call you Zoroark.
The name's Bond.
Ionic Bond.
Yeah, I
was thinking
medicated powder.
I still have a Zoroark motif on my channel. So
we have a sub. Wait, hold on. Just EPM. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow at the very end.
Thank you for the follow.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. So yeah, let's go and wrap things up. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Tune in then, and yeah, have a good day. Bye, everybody.
I just realized Ionic Bond represents himself as a Zoroark. Does that mean KG wants to constantly hug Ion?
Yeah.
No, it's a Zoroark, not a Zorua.
What you don't? I didn't think you discriminated that greatly.
No,
Yeah, he likes Zorua more.
Cuter.
Well,
Yeah, he likes the little one.
You like both forms. Don't act like you don't like both forms.
I
Yeah, but he
love
likes
the
the little
little
more.
one.
Bro, didn't you ever see that movie Pokemon Zoroark Master of Illusion? Where the
Oh
Zoroark
no,
is
yeah,
like
I've seen.
Zoroark?
Yes,